Chapter 842. Is he too tired? Xiangyi thought to herself. Shui had been sleepless for several days in a row, so he was really tired now. He rarely relaxed in front of others. Xiangyi was the only exception. Xiangyi remained seated and carefully helped Shui adjust his position so that he could sleep more comfortably. The girl put the microphone close to her mouth and lowered her voice. Does anyone have any questions? In the live stream, fans of the untimely couple repeatedly died. I'm done. This is too sweet. Untimely couple. Beautiful love. What a perfect couple. Let's get married on the spot. Sister E. Thank you for your concern. We will be holding our wedding in a few days. Welcome, everyone. In addition to the fans of the untimely couple, many people also asked Xiangyi questions. The usual questions were about her interests and hobbies, the recipe of a certain dish, but there were also unusual questions, such as the solution to math problems, pet poop picker strategies, and divination. Xiangyi replied to as many people as she could. No matter how outrageous the questions were, the girl would answer them seriously. When she encountered questions that she didn't know how to answer, she would apologize to the audience and leave a good impression on them. It was almost time. Xiangyi wanted to answer more questions, but Li Jinyu said, "Okay, time's up. Sister E, you should get some rest. I'll answer one more question, just one." The girl raised a finger and said in a soft voice, as if she was acting coquettishly, who can stand this? Father Fan, Li Jinyu could stand it. He sternly refused Xiangyi's request. I'll turn off the live stream right away. Now, go to sleep with Shui. Beside the floor-to-ceiling windows, the Xiang brothers, who were too lazy to enter the livestream, cast cold glares at them one after another. In the livestream, all the viewers were spammed with comments such as, "Well done, son," and "Director Li is in danger, danger, danger." Li Jinyu wanted to cry, but had no tears. "No, I mean both of you should go to sleep. It's just a literal meaning. Sister E, please don't misinterpret it." Xiangyi nodded. In order not to disturb Shui, she carefully leaned against the sofa, closed her eyes, and fell asleep smoothly. In the blink of an eye, the little girl's breathing was even and shallow. She had actually fallen asleep. In fact, Xiangyi was just forcing herself to stay awake. Over the past month, she had spent a lot of effort in the game, and her mind had been very tense. Now that she was in front of Shui and her family, she could finally let down her guard and fall asleep peacefully. Li Jinyu cut off the livestream right when Xiangyi and Shui fell asleep. Thus, on this day, a few strange trending topics appeared. Hashtag sleep together, hashtag literally sleeping, hashtag round up how old is the child, hashtag of course, other than the fact that they were a couple. Xiangyi once again gained countless fans in just half an hour of interaction. The girl's IQ and EQ were impeccable. Even Sister Shui had a big fan of hers, who posted sentimental essays. Time doesn't age, but Shui doesn't give up V. All this time, I've been resistant to the idea of Shui being in a relationship. It's that kind of feeling. You know that Xiangyi is very good. You know that she's fair-skinned, rich, and beautiful. But you still can't accept her. Some people say that you're jealous. I say that I'm worried. I'm worried that such a good person like him will fall in love with her. I'm worried that such a good person like him will give more than he gets. But today, I'm finally relieved. Except for Sister Shui, in this world, the only person who likes and cares about Shui is there's already Sister E. Red Heart. Chapter 843. This big fan's words resonated with many of the Shui sisters. Yes, they didn't dislike Xiangyi. That feeling was probably similar to hearing their parents talk about other people's children. They acknowledged her excellence, but there was also a subtle resistance. However, gradually, that resistance seemed to have disappeared. The reason why they had changed their opinion of Xiangyi was not just because of the small fact that she let Shui lean on her shoulder today. Instead, it was because of the subtle recognition that had accumulated over time. They finally understood that the relationship between Xiangyi and Shui had never been one-sided. Neither of them was dependent on the other. On this day, Shui sisters, who had always been arrogant, publicly expressed that they were barely able to make do with Xiangyi. They thought that Xiangyi was not bad. The spicy Tutu sisters were speechless. It was quite sudden. However, the spicy Tutu sisters didn't take this matter to heart. They did whatever they wanted and went to watch the videos of Sister E cooking, gardening, playing the zither, treating illnesses, and drawing talismans. The Shui sisters were speechless. Hey, we don't care about our pride anymore. Aren't you going to welcome us? Damn it. If you continue to talk to the spicy Tutu sisters, we will never eat spicy rabbit heads again. Wait a minute, Xiangyi's birthday is coming soon? Seeing that the spicy Tutu sisters were still acting as if nothing had happened, the Shui sisters broke their vow and earnestly reminded them on #SpicyTutu Superchat. Your Tutu's birthday is coming soon. The spicy Tutu sisters' reaction was, oh? The Shui sisters were speechless. Don't you look at the personal information of your artists. They tried to impart their valuable support experience to the spicy Tutu sisters. For example, they could buy advertising spots in squares, subways, and public buses. For example, they could do public welfare, repair roads, repair elementary schools, plant trees, and rescue stray cats. Another example would be endorsements, buying clothes, hand sanitizer, noodles, and snail powder. The spicy Tutu sisters replied calmly, a waste of money. Illegal fundraising. Can you buy it? The Shui sisters were speechless. That hurts. Xiangyi slept all the way until evening. When he woke up, his whole body felt refreshed after a good night's sleep. Shui was sitting next to her, reading the script in her hands. She seemed to have sensed her gaze and turned to look at her. Xiangyi rubbed her eyes, wiped the corners of her mouth, and combed her hair in a flurry. Because she had just woken up, her movements were slow by half a beat, making her look adorable. Where are my brothers? Xiangyi asked. The corners of Shui's lips curled up as he pinched her little face. They left. The light in Xiangyi's eyes dimmed. Did that do something again? Do they hate me again? The girl's voice was a little nasal, but she pretended to be indifferent. Don't overthink it. TSK, I promise to keep a secret, Shui said. They went to the old mansion to prepare for your birthday celebration, and the staff members are also there. There should be a live broadcast. Xiangyi covered his mouth. You didn't say anything, so you didn't go against your principles. Shui chuckled softly, a gentle smile on her face. It's okay. Others can't do it, but Sister E is different. In front of Sister E, I can go against my principles. Xiangyi felt her ears start to burn again. She pinched them gently with her fingertips and suddenly thought of something. Then tonight are we the only two left at home? Chapter 844. The sound of running water could be heard from the bathroom. Xiangyi sat on the tatami beside the floor-to-ceiling window. Her head was so hot that it was about to emit smoke. She was nervously tugging at the bunny ears of her stuffed toy. Thinking about the conversation in the past 2 hours, her ears turned even redder in embarrassment. Then tonight, are we the only ones left at home? Shui replied with a faint as if he did not think much of it. What do you want to eat? I'll make it. Anything. They had a simple dinner, watched a movie, and drank some wine. Then he pretended to be drunk and dragged her back to his room. Xiangyi took a deep breath and told herself not to think about the content of the manga that Fu Yunyue showed her. She was not nervous. Creak. The bathroom door was pulled open. Xiangyi's first reaction was to hide under the coffee table. Fortunately, her rationality came online in time, and she did not do anything embarrassing. She struggled for a long time before coming up with the wording. Well, I don't think I'm that drunk. Why don't you go back? When she saw Shui's appearance, the latter half of her sentence was instantly stuck. Unlike the restrained and abstinent style of pajamas in the past, Shui was only wearing a pair of gray sweatpants today. The belt hung loosely, looking lazy and wanton. Looking up, it was a perfect and superior figure. His shoulders and back were broad, but his muscles were not exaggerated. His cold and fair abs were distinct, and 2 distinct V-lines snaked into his sweatpants. He held a towel, with one hand, to dry his hair, as if he did not hear Xiangyi's words. What did you say? Xiangyi's milky white face was super serious. I said I drank too much. Shui chuckled softly, looking so charming and flirtatious. His little bunny, why was she so cute? Xiangyi continued to be super serious. I'm also drunk, very drunk, the kind that will go crazy. Shui raised his eyebrows, his expression languid and leisurely as he drawled. It's okay, I'll let you trample on me. Whoosh, this time, Xiangyi couldn't take it anymore. She buried her head under the coffee table. Letting her do whatever she wanted to him was just too embarrassing. By the time Shui dug a certain little rabbit out from under the table, the girl's ears had already turned red all the way to her fair neck. Why is your face so red? Do you have a headache? It's still all right. The two of them were so close that she could smell the sweet orange scent of Shui. Thump, thump, Xiangyi swallowed her saliva, and her mind involuntarily started to wander off to the manga that Fu Yunyue had given her, not wearing clothes. Cough. She only wanted to take a look at the Liao out of the spirit of scientific research. I heard that exercise can promote alcohol metabolism. I'll dry your hair for you. The buzzing sound of the hairdryer rang in the room. Xiangyi's movements were gentle. She deliberately moved the hairdryer further away and carefully blew Shui's hair. The man's hair was short, and he blew it dry quickly. It's done. Xiangyi turned around to put the hairdryer in. A pair of large hands grabbed her slender wrists from behind. Tutu. The same two words, but when Shui said them, the feeling was different from when her brothers said them. You finished metabolizing the alcohol? Xiang, he didn't even have time to reply before she heard the man's mocking voice again. Aren't you going to go crazy? Big brother is waiting for you. The girl lost her usual calmness and was embarrassed. I don't know how to. Shui gently kneaded the soft flesh at the back of her neck. Be good, big brother will teach you. Chapter 845. Xiangyi's eyelashes fluttered twice, and she asked in confusion, Can this be taught? The moment she finished speaking, the pair of big hands on the back of her neck moved down along her spine. Like small electric current flowers, they exploded at her nerve endings. Ugh! The girl didn't hold the hairdryer firmly in her hand, and it accidentally fell on the soft carpet. But no one cared. Xiangyi suddenly chickened out. I don't want to learn. Unfortunately, it was too late. The black-bellied wolf removed the disguise of abstinence, squinted his eyes, and swung the big tail behind him in satisfaction. The little rabbit was firmly held in his arms in an extremely domineering and possessive posture. The warm breath wrapped around the tip of her ear, spreading down little by little. The touch was wonderful and tugging at her heartstrings. Xiangyi's slender shoulders trembled slightly. You don't seem to be teaching it right. For example, her little uncle liked to climb trees when he was drunk. Her fourth brother liked to hug and kiss furry toys when he was drunk. And her third brother would crazily act coquettishly when he was drunk. Asking to be hugged and lifted high. Shui's drunken teaching was very wrong. Silly rabbit. The man's throat overflowed with a low chuckle, and his thin lips pressed against the girl's red collarbone. Big brother lied to you. Don't be afraid. The man's coaxing voice was husky, like a feather tickling the tip of her heart. Both of their breaths became hot. At this moment, the phone suddenly rang. Shui glanced at it and saw that the caller ID was Xiang Feng, so she directly hung up. Just as she was about to continue drunken madness with the little rabbit, the phone began to buzz and vibrate nonstop. Shui's temples faintly twitched, and she used the last of her patience to look at the screen. Feng de ji de li, Sui. Are you there? Feng de ji de li. Urgent, urgent, urgent. It's very urgent. Shui frowned. After all, they were good friends for many years, and she was worried that something had happened to him. So she replied with a question mark. Xiang Feng sent a voice message that was dozens of seconds long. Sui. I thought of a great gift idea. On little Xiangyi's birthday, I'll prepare a huge gift box for her. Then, I'll lie inside it. When she opens the gift, she'll see me inside. Aren't you surprised? That wasn't the end of it. I was going to pretend to be dead inside and scare her into crying. Then I would sit up and make her smile through her tears, making her even happier. What do you think? Isn't it wonderful? After waiting for a long time, Xian Feng didn't receive a reply, so he sent an emoji over in confusion. A notification popped up on the screen. Sure Sui from Tutu's family has activated friend verification. You're not her friend yet. Send a friend verification request first. You can only chat after the other party accepts the request. Xian Feng. What did he do wrong? Why did he have to be so heartless to him? The atmosphere was interrupted. Sure Sui hesitated, wondering if she should let it go. Who would have thought? Xiangyi poked his arm. Her voice was soft and trembling slightly. Don't you want to continue? Like a fuse of turbulent emotions. Sure Sui's atoms apple-bobbed. He lifted the hair on the girl's cheek and tucked it behind her ear. Her jet-black hair twined and loosened around his fingertips. It was a warm and ambiguous action. Their eyes met, and they moved closer bit by bit. Suddenly, there was a series of scratching sounds on the door, accompanied by Xiao Naofu's anxious cries. Sure Sui, ignore it. Xiangyi hesitated, but she pushed Sure Sui away. I'll go see if it's hungry. Sure Sui, very good, the sterilization plan can be restarted. Smiley face. Chapter 846. Xiangyi quickly opened the door, while Xiao Naofu scurried towards her. What's the matter? Xiangyi squatted down and picked up the kitten. Xiao Naofu sobbed aggrievedly and used its meaty little paw to point at the location of the cat villa. Xiangyi immediately sensed that something was amiss. Little Shiji, who had always been inseparable from Xiao Naofu, was nowhere to be seen. She walked over and saw a tablet in little Shiji's nest. She vaguely had a hunch. The screen lit up to see that there was an edited letter on it. The letter was divided into 3 parts. To Sister E, thank you, Sister E, for taking care of me these past few days. The food you cook is really delicious. It's the most delicious food I've ever eaten in all the worlds I've transmigrated to. To Sure Sui, there's nothing much to say. Don't bully Xiao Naofu, I'll protect it. To Xiao Naofu, by the time you read this letter, I should have already left. Don't be sad, I left because my mission has been completed. I'll come back to look for you when I go back to deal with some matters. By the way, the main system said that your reincarnation failed because of Ling Ye's interference, and it will compensate you soon. While I'm away, you have to eat well and drink milk well. Don't always steal canned food and dried fish. You have to sleep in the nest and cover yourself well with the blanket. You can sleep anywhere you want in my nest. It's very clean. By the way, if you miss me, you can look at hashtag Western Suited Couples posts. There are photos and videos of us together. It's okay if you don't miss me. Goodbye, Xiao Naofu. After reading it, Xiangyi sighed. Although she knew that this day would come sooner or later, she felt a little melancholic. Xiao Naofu nestled in her arms and quietly wiped its tears. Xiangyi forced herself to cheer up and comforted Xiao Naofu. We have to believe in little Shiji. It will definitely come back, and we'll be able to see each other then. Xiao Naofu. Meow meow, what if little Shiji doesn't come back? Who else can it bully? Who else would be willing to be bullied by it? The more Xiao Naofu thought about it, the more upset he felt. He sobbed and cried nonstop. Xiangyi was affected by it, and her eyes also turned red. She packed up little Shiji's bowl and toys and placed them in a cardboard box, after which she wrote little Shiji on it. When little Shiji comes back, shall we open the box together? Xiao Naofu wept and nodded. The top of its head was suddenly rubbed twice by a warm hand. Xiao Naofu smelled the familiar scent of a dog-like man, and its fur instantly exploded. However, the D*MN man didn't talk about sterilization or cat meat hot pot today. Instead, he gently coaxed her. Kitty, I won't bully you anymore. Xiao Naofu's ears perked up. Really? Suddenly, she didn't feel so sad anymore. Sure Sui said calmly, you're already a grown-up kitten, so you have to learn to be mature, independent, and strong. However, That's definitely nothing to Xiao Naofu. You're the most mature, independent, and strong, aren't you? Xiao Naofu felt giddy after hearing the D*MN man's words, as if it had drunk a few kilograms of fake alcohol. It raised its chin and meowed proudly. Humph, I'm just that outstanding. In the next second, the D*MN man grabbed the back of its neck mercilessly and threw it into the cat mansion. Kata. The door of the cage was locked. Good night, little Shiji. Xiao Naofu? Damn you, D*MN man. Chapter 847. This time, Xiangyi was carried back to the room by Shui, and in front of Xiao Naofu. Xiao Naofu roared ferociously. Damn it. Why does this scumbag feel like he's taking revenge on me? In the bedroom, Shui carried Xiangyi with one hand and locked the door with the other. Double security. That stupid cat shouldn't be able to enter. Put me down. It was too embarrassing to be carried on his shoulders. This was an experience that Xiangyi had never experienced before. The man's voice was languid. Listen to Tutu. Xiangyi thought he would put her down by the window. She had carefully decorated that area for a long time. The tatami mats, the couch, and the small coffee table were all carefully selected. There were also all kinds of soft pillows, cute dolls, and small ornaments. She didn't expect that Shui would place her on the bed. The girl panicked and subconsciously wanted to escape, but the man grabbed her wrist and easily pulled her back. What are you doing? The little bunny trembled and quickly rolled up the thin quilt. Shui looked at her with a faint smile. What do you want to do by tricking your brother here? Hit the nail on the head. Xiangyi felt guilty and didn't dare to look at him. She said vaguely, Is that so? Why don't we talk somewhere else? It feels weird on the bed. Are you scared now? Shui raised his eyebrows. Do you still dare to do it in the future? Xiangyi said honestly, yes. Shui was so angry that he laughed. He simply lifted the thin quilt and lay down beside her. Xiangyi, no. Shui said, okay, go ahead. I heard you. Xiangyi. The little girl pulled up the quilt and covered half of her face. Although her brothers doted on her, they abided by the principle that men and women should keep their distance from her since she was young. She didn't have many friends, and Jiang Juju was very busy practicing the zither and going to school. The two of them would occasionally meet, but they couldn't fall asleep at all and would talk all night long. Shui was considered the first person she had slept with in a serious manner. How have you been in the past month? Shui asked in the quiet room. Xiangyi picked out some interesting things to tell him, such as helping Brother Fatty attract customers with food, making all kinds of accessories for Fu Yinyue and Little White, and fighting with Fu Zichuan with a mecha. The girl had only mentioned it casually, but Shui had grasped the main point very accurately. Fu Zichuan. He's Fu Yinyue's brother. He's extremely powerful. His martial prowess is high, his mecha piloting is first-rate, and he even knows how to command an interstellar fleet in battle. She rattled on and on about Fu Zichuan's good points. Caught off guard, she met Shui's deep eyes and instantly realized that something was wrong. Before she could explain herself, the hand around her waist suddenly tightened after an unknown period of time. The girl lay on the bed and fell asleep out of exhaustion. Shui wrapped his arms around her slender waist and sneered softly, "You're just a little bunny who has evil intentions but no guts." Thinking of Fu Zichuan whom she mentioned, he pressed the tip of his tongue against the roof of his mouth. She actually praised another man. He was just displeased. It was breakfast time the next day. Xiangyi felt her back ache, and she was even more tired than cooking 100 dishes. On the other hand, Shui was refreshed and squinted his eyes like a sly old fox. "Shall I massage your back?" No. Xiangyi waved her hand repeatedly to turn him down. Coincidentally, a call came in and she pressed the answer button. "Miss Xiangyi, there's someone outside who wants to see you. She claims to be Shui's mother. The following words are free of charge. I wrote a bug previously. Let me correct it. Shui's father is recuperating abroad and her mother is a strong career woman who has a conflict with Shui. Please. Moon. Vote. Duck. Good night. Chapter 848. Auntie Shu was looking for her? Xiangyi was a little confused. She hung up the phone and told Shui about his mother. Shui said, "She might have something to tell you. Do you want to go with me to see her?" Xiangyi asked. "She might not want to see me." Although Shui's tone was calm, Xiangyi could sense a hint of loneliness in his voice. She kissed his forehead and said, "Then wait for me here. You have to eat well and drink all the milk. Don't be picky." Shui raised his eyebrows. Was he being taught a lesson by the little bunny? But this feeling was not bad. After Xiangyi left his sight, the smile in Shui's eyes faded and was replaced by a gloomy look. In the glass greenhouse, warm sunlight refracted into the room, making it look like the fairyland that Alice had dreamt about. Xiangyi poured a cup of rose tea for Xia. She was sitting upright with her back straight. Her posture and actions were impeccable, just like a textbook example of a virtuous lady. The Shu family attached great importance to etiquette, and Xia was considered her elder. Xiangyi showed the attitude of a junior, but she was neither servile nor overbearing, and did not lose her poise. Xia was extremely beautiful. Time seemed to be very tolerant of her, and there were no traces of age on her face. She took a sip of the flower tea. The sweetness of the rose and the fragrance of the green tea blended together to create a rich and sweet taste. However, she only took a sip and put down the cup. She did not touch it again. "The last time I saw you, you were only 7 or 8 years old. In the blink of an eye, you have grown up." Xia's tone was gentle. "How are your grandparents?" Xiangyi said, "Auntie, thank you for your concern. Everything is fine." Xia was silent for a few seconds and said, "I heard that you and Shui are together." Xiangyi nodded without hesitation. "Yes, we are dating. I watched you grow up. There are some things that I think you should know." You two have just started dating. You haven't seen his true colors yet. As time passes, you'll realize that everyone with the surname Shi is a lunatic." Xiangyi noticed that Xia had deliberately emphasized the word lunatic. "So, Auntie, why are you here?" Xia whispered, "Leave him. The Shi family had the genes of lunatics, and Shui would one day go crazy too. Xiangyi, your mother and I are old friends. I can't watch your daughter fall into the devil's mire and end up as miserable as I was back then. You don't know, you can't imagine how painful it is to live with a madman all day long. Shui is just a good-looking boy. He has witnessed his fathers." Xia seemed to be unwilling to talk about the past and vaguely said, "In short, his father is trash. He's the same. He might even be worse than trash." After saying this, she felt relieved, as if the sword of Damocles that had been hanging over her head all these years had finally disappeared. She thought that she would see panic and fear on Xiangyi's face, but she did not expect the girl to remain calm. "Auntie, thank you for your advice." Xia could not understand her reaction. "Don't you understand? I said that Shui has the genes of that person." Xiangyi interrupted her. The girl's voice was calm. "Auntie, he is also half your blood bond." Xia gritted her teeth. "That was the most humiliating thing in my life." Chapter 849. Looking back on the past, Xia felt that everything was unbearable. To her, the so-called love wasn't beautiful at all. It was all pain and torture. Father Shi had outstanding attainments in art. When he was in his 20s, he had already achieved something that countless painters couldn't achieve in their lifetime. However, his love was stubborn and insidious. It was possessive and controlling. From restricting her social interactions at the beginning, it was extreme to restricting her freedom. In the end, Xia shuddered at the thought of those dark days. At that time, she thought that the only person she could rely on was her son, Shui. However, what made her bitterly disappointed was that the 4 or 5-year-old Shui actually stood in his father's position and advised her to obey Father Shi. He even once said, "Mommy, Daddy just loves you too much." Thinking of this sentence, Shu Xia retched. Because the psychological trauma was too serious. Her face paled visibly. Aren't you afraid? Aren't you afraid that he'll turn into a lunatic, a monster, or a devil? He'll lock you up and not let you see anyone. He'll control your diet, clothes, even the fragrant shower gel will be chosen by him. Shu Xia sneered. You're still young. Maybe you've been poisoned by those novels and comics. You think that being a caged canary and a daughter flower clinging to a man is a romantic love that people yearn for. No, let me tell you, that's not love at all. It's just a perverted restriction of personal freedom. She leaned against the back of the chair and closed her eyes tiredly, as if she had exhausted all her strength. Xiani added some hot tea to the cup that she hadn't touched much. Auntie, I sympathize with your experience. After going through all that, it must be difficult for you to walk out of it. Shu Xia revealed a gratified smile. It's good that you can wake up in time. However, Xiangyi's next words froze her smile. Uncle Shi is Uncle Shi. Shi Sui is Shi Sui. Even if they are bound by blood, they are still independent individuals. You don't treat Shi Sui as your son. I respect your choice. But he's not trash, and he's not crazy. Although there are times when he's childish and even bullies kittens, he's the best, most gentle, and most reliable man in the world. Shu Xia looked at the girl in front of her in disbelief. Why? Why? She had even revealed the secret that she had kept for so many years. Why hadn't Xiangyi left Shi Sui yet? Shu Xia's chest heaved up and down, and it took her a long time to calm down. She regained her noble and elegant appearance and took out a card from her limited edition crocodile leather bag. I've already said what I wanted to say. It's up to you whether you want to listen or not. Take this card, and I'll pretend that I don't have a son. Shu Xia said proudly, remember, if you choose him, then I won't give you my blessings. Never. Xiangyi frowned and took out a wallet from her third brother's canvas bag. After opening it, she saw a stack of black and gold cards. Under the sunlight, it was almost blinding. Xiangyi took out the cards one by one slowly and placed them in front of Shu Xia. Auntie, this is a small token of my respect. Please remember that you didn't abandon Shi Sui. Shi Sui doesn't want you anymore. He has me for the rest of his life. Chapter 850. Shu Xia left out of anger. She left in a disheveled state, just as elegant as she came. She naturally couldn't accept Xiangyi's cards, but the cards that she threw at her were worse than slapping her in the face. Phew. Xiangyi exhaled and couldn't help but put a hand to her forehead when she recalled her childish behavior just now. She had only seen her uncle throw the cards at her, and she felt extremely ashamed back then. However, today she felt a little exhilarated. Ahem. She inadvertently looked around and saw the slender figure under the gardenia tree not far away. Xiangyi got up and scurried over. Shi Sui was twirling a cigarette in his hand, but he didn't smoke it. He looked down, and the emotions in his eyes couldn't be discerned. Xiangyi asked cautiously, did you see everything? Yes. I'm sorry, it's my fault. I just couldn't take it anymore, so I threw those cards at her. I forgot that there were so many of them. Her uncle and grandparents would give her supplementary cards and pocket money cards from time to time, not to mention her brothers. Since she was a child, Xiangyi had never received any cash in the red packets she received. They were either cards or deposit slips. Xiang, he explained softly, and her whole body was suddenly hugged. Shi Sui buried his head in her neck and rubbed it twice. He was such a mature and serious man, but now he was acting like a spoiled child. Tuku, you're very good. You're the best in the world. Xiangyi said with a smile, some people say that I'm speaking in an appropriate manner, and some people say that Xiangyi has been passed down from generation to generation. It seems to make sense. Shi Sui hugged her even tighter. Can I hug you for a while? Xiangyi wrapped her arms around his waist. Sure, boyfriend. Xiao Naofu, who was watching the show in the corner of the greenhouse, was speechless. Is it popular to lure Hohu in and kill him now? I suddenly miss little Shiji. If it's here, it'll hug me too. More than 10 seconds later. Sure Sui let go of Xiangyi and adjusted his mood. I'm sorry for making you suffer. Sure Sui laughed self-deprecatingly. I didn't give my blessing to our family. Xiangyi shook her head. No, it doesn't matter if she doesn't bless us. We don't need her blessing. She doesn't want you, but I want you. Sure Sui, don't be sad. Anyway, I won't allow it. The little girl's serious look with a taut little face made one's heart flutter. Sure Sui chuckled. Okay, listen to Tutu. Shu Xia was right to a certain extent. He had inherited Father Shi's genes, stubborn and heartless. He had heard worse words countless times, but he had never taken them to heart. From the beginning to the end, he was worried that Xiangyi would be wronged. By the way, when is your birthday? I remember Uncle said that you were born in autumn. Why did your personal information say that you were born on January 1st? Xiangyi changed the subject. Sure Sui said. I don't know. Huh? Sure Sui said helplessly. I really don't know, no one remembers. His birth was an accident. At that time, Shu Xia was born prematurely, and Father Shi's mental condition was already very bad. He refused to send Shu Xia to the hospital and hired a medical staff to deliver the baby at home. Although they hired a top doctor, Shu Xia and Father Shi got into a heated argument. In the chaos, everyone forgot which day Sure Sui was born and only remembered the approximate time frame. Chapter 851. Xiangyi was stunned for a moment. She hit her forehead, feeling a little annoyed. If she had known earlier, she wouldn't have asked. Sure Sui grabbed her wrist and teased, My girlfriend is not allowed to hit herself without permission. Come, let me do it for you. He bent down and approached Xiangyi. Xiangyi retracted her small hand and pecked his cheek lightly, like a dragonfly skimming the water. Boyfriend, do you want to celebrate my birthday with me? This time, the person who was stunned was Sure Sui. I'll take it that you agree if you don't say anything. Xiangyi's doe-like eyes were filled with gentle moonlight. Then it settled. I'll go prepare a gift for you. You're not allowed to peek. The girl ran back to the living room. Sure Sui's Adam's apple bobbed. After a while, he suppressed his emotions and smiled. How lucky was he to meet his little bunny. Star City. In less than 10 days, the popularity of the account, Bunny, had plummeted and disappeared from the public eye. Stopped live streaming and used the star coins in her account to buy things without restraint. She even listened to people's words and bought the so-called wealth management products that guaranteed profits and no losses. She even paid off the loan. When she woke up, she realized that all her money had been taken away. Almost fainted. Soon, she was exiled to the barren original Sin planet because she couldn't pay off the loan. She wanted to ask Fu Zichuan for help, but she couldn't contact him at all. When she finally contacted Fu Yinyue, the other party's attitude was very cold. Couldn't figure it out and asked, Aren't we good friends? Everyone in the galaxy knows that we're very close. You've given me so many gifts. Fu Yinyue, I'm sorry, that's a reward for Tutu, not for you. Refused to admit it. I'm Tutu really. I'm not lying to you. There was no reply for a long time. She sent another message, only to realize that she had been blocked. Vision turned black, and she was in complete despair. She finally paid the price for her greed and courting death. After being exiled, optical computer was also confiscated. In the optical computer, Lin Yi was still fighting against the virus. He calculated the results. According to the current progress, he would be able to break the virus in 123 years and regain his freedom. However, that day would never come. The main system has found Ling Ye's location. It was only when he truly faced the main system that Ling Yi realized just how weak his so-called secondary system was. He couldn't even withstand a single blow. The main system had been operating for many years, and the amount of energy it had accumulated was undoubtedly terrifying. The simulated photon beam bombarded Ling Yi a few times, and Ling Ye's core data was damaged, causing him to fall into a near-death state. What shocked him even more was that the main system didn't kill him right away. Instead, it started the process of devouring him. Ling Ye's figure appeared on the main system screen when he had devoured 2/3 of it. It was like a child discovering a new world for the first time, constantly changing its shape. Men, women, cats, dogs, and even all kinds of strange creatures. When it changed to Fu Zichuan's face, it exclaimed. It seemed a little familiar. That's not right. It searched through Ling Ye's memories and found Shi Sui's appearance. Wasn't this? The main system immediately locked onto Shi Sui's world through the countless planes of existence. Finally, it locked onto Shi Sui's world. Xiang Yi had ordered a lot of gifts for Shi Sui. She inadvertently opened Weibo and saw the top trending topic. The girl's pupils shrank. Hashtag Shi Sui lunatic hashtag. Chapter 852. She tapped on the trending topic with her slender and soft fingertips. The page jumped to a video interview with a certain media outlet. The interview was Xu Xia. Xiang Yi's fingertips trembled as she fast-forwarded through the entire interview. In the half-hour interview, Xu Xia lost control of her emotions several times and kept mentioning Shi Sui and his father. The Shi family members all have mental problems. Shi Sui has displayed emotional and cognitive disorders since he was a child. He's cold and emotionless, just like a block of wood. He doesn't know how to speak even when he's 4 or 5 years old. He's not likable at all. I don't want to admit that he's my son. I didn't want to talk about these things at first. The reason why I'm standing up is to prevent women from being hurt like I did back then. Being imprisoned in a cage like a canary isn't romantic love at all. It's a legal imprisonment of personal freedom. This interview was obviously paid to be trending, but because the content was too shocking, it still caused a huge uproar on the internet. What the F***CK? Is this Shi Sui's biological mother? She's so beautiful. So does the Shi family have some kind of hereditary mental illness? Shi Sui acted like a lunatic in the movie that he won the Best Actor award for previously. Could it be that he's acting himself? I'm just a passerby. I feel that Ms. Shu's values are too righteous. I hate those kinds of love views that promote paranoia and mental illness. They're obviously the dregs of the flourishing consumer culture and entertainment industry. His biological mother is coming out to beat him. Shi Sui's mental condition must be very worrying, right? I feel bad for Sister E. She found a lunatic to be her boyfriend. With her qualifications, she can get any man she wants. In an instant, rumors spread everywhere. All the gossip accounts were like flies that had smelled rotten meat, trying to gain popularity without any bottom line. Even the headlines were eye-catching. Shocking. Shi Sui is suspected to have a mental disorder. Click here to see a certain Shi Sui's biological mother, revealing the secrets of a wealthy family. Untimely breakup crisis. The boyfriend she's dating is mentally unstable. Where should the nation's sister go? Xiang Yi called Si Chuanbai and told him to deal with it immediately. Si Chuanbai said with a headache, "It's already in the public relations department. It's not difficult to remove the trending topic, but I found some clues." The person who volunteered to be interviewed was Madame Shu, and the account information of the person who bought the trending topic was traced to Madame Shu's bank card. I'm afraid there's something else. Xiang Yi clenched her phone and gently exhaled before she calmly replied, "All right, I got it." The girl stepped on her slippers and looked around for Shi Sui. Through the floor-to-ceiling window, she saw a thin and slender figure. Shi Sui was looking at her phone. She swiped a few times casually, looking indifferent as if she had expected this. He took out the cigarette box and suddenly thought of something. He threw the cigarette and lighter directly into the trash can. Xiang Yi's heart clenched. What was Shi Sui like when she was a child? She tried her best to picture it in her mind, but it was all in vain. After all, the two of them were separated by 7 years. She suddenly wondered if Shi Sui would be very lonely at that time. Shi Sui replied to Si Chuanbai, Xiang Feng, and the others' messages. Then, She sent a few WeChat messages to a person named Dr. Gu. Hearing the familiar sound of footsteps, Shi Sui looked up and was knocked into the arms of a young girl who was running over. "You're not like what they said." The tip of the girl's nose turned sour. She was even sadder than when she was scolded. "You're the best." Chapter 853. Even the summer wind seemed to have become gentle. Shi Sui patted Xiangyi's back and said in a lazy voice, "It's nothing. It's really nothing." Xiangyi looked up and stared at him for a while before whispering, "If you want to cry, I can lend you my shoulder." Shi Sui chuckled and said, "Why is our tutu so nice?" Xiangyi said seriously, "You're the best." Whether it was the coat he used to block her way when she was 16 years old or the tissue he handed her when she cried when she missed her parents, they were all like family members, supporting Xiangyi's belief in doing tasks when she was about to transmigrate to another world. She was absent from Shi Sui's life for 7 years, but she wanted to give Shi Sui a future. "All right, Si Chuanbai will deal with those messy things." Shi Sui pinched Xiangyi's cheek and said, "It's your birthday tomorrow. Our tutu must be happy." "We're celebrating our birthdays together," Xiangyi corrected him. Shi Sui was silent for a while and said, "Sister E, let me tell you a little secret. I've never celebrated my birthday before I debuted." "Huh?" Xiangyi was stunned. "Isn't it? It's quite funny." Shi Sui scratched his eyebrows with his fingertips. His eyebrows were high, making his peach blossom eyes look deep and affectionate. "No one remembers my real birthday. The company randomly filled in my birthday date. Later on, my fans would celebrate my birthday at that time. Although it's not my real birthday, I'm still very happy every year." Xiangyi felt a little sorry for him, but she hid it with a smile. "Then, you can celebrate your birthday twice a year." Shi Sui smiled and said, "Yes, I've profited." Those dark, suffocating, and depressing memories were still there, but they would no longer affect him. His memories were now filled with a girl named Xiangyi. They became bright, gorgeous, and dazzling. Day and night alternated. The hot searches changed again and again. The popularity of Xu Xia's interview decreased greatly, but there were still people who paid attention to it. Everyone was speculating whether Shi Sui had a mental disorder or not. Rainy Night, which he had previously starred in, had also been dug out and analyzed frame by frame. From his micro-expressions to his body language, he did not miss a single detail. The climax of the movie was when the protagonist, played by Shi Sui, sat on the sofa and smoked after killing someone. As he smoked, he laughed until tears came out of his eyes. Although there was a twist at the end, and everything was just the protagonist's imagination, those few minutes became the most dazzling part of the entire film. It was regarded as one of the best acting skills in the history of film. However, after careful analysis, it seemed that Shi Sui had really gone mad. Otherwise, how could he act so well? There were quite a few people who held this view. In particular, when the live broadcast of Two Under One Roof began, everyone started gossiping about Shi Sui in the comment section. Did you guys see the popular analysis? My mind is filled with Shi Ingdi's laughter. It's like he's really crazy. I think so too. How can a mother not love her child? Even his own mother said so. It must be because the crazy genes of the Shi family are too much. Is Shi Ingdi pretending to be gentle and refined these days? Oh my God, doesn't that mean he's a mental patient with acting skills? He's much more dangerous than ordinary mental patients. Of course, these people were soon taught a lesson by Shi Sui's fighting skills. At this moment, Li Jinyu shouted, "We're here." Chapter 854. The audience's attention was immediately attracted. The cameraman Old Zhang had also figured out what everyone was thinking. He got out of the car and took a shot of the Xiang family's old mansion from afar. It was a typical Chinese-style building that was not as exaggerated as everyone imagined. Instead, it was clean and fresh, like a traditional ink painting. Madame Xiang loved flowers, so Xiang Yin planted all kinds of flowers. From the gate to the courtyard, All kinds of flowers and plants were taken care of very well. Sure Sui got out of the car and opened the door for Xiangyi. Xiangyi jumped out of the car with light footsteps and casually picked a rose from the side, which she then pinned to Sure Sui's ear with a smile. Sure Sui looked a little helpless, but she still smiled gently and let Xiangyi do whatever she wanted. The pop-up comments of the live stream were instantly taken over by fans of the untimely couple. Those who wanted to gossip about Sure Sui just now were dumbfounded by this scene. Is this the traffic of a top-notch variety show? There were so many pop-up comments that people couldn't even see their faces. Xiangyi said, "There may be a lot of people later, don't be nervous." Sure Sui nodded. The audience thought that she was just saying it casually, but when the production crew entered the courtyard, they realized it's not a lot. It's a ridiculous amount, okay? There was an open-air party set up in the courtyard, and more than 10 tables covered with white cloths were set up in the form of a buffet. There were staples, desserts, drinks, and so on. The courtyard was large, but because there were hundreds of people there, it actually seemed cramped. Upon sight of Xiangyi, a group of people surrounded her like stars surrounding the moon. "Miss Yang, happy birthday. Miss Yang, I hope you'll always be as beautiful as a flower. Ha ha ha, long time no see. Miss Yang, you'll always be 18. These people were basically the partners of the Xiang family's company, and some of them were socialites and heirs. Their relationship with Xiangyi was so close that they couldn't even be considered plastic. Xiangyi maintained a polite smile, exuding an outstanding girlish aura, like a proud white swan. The apricot-colored dress was tailored to fit her body perfectly, and every stitch was personally sewn by Xiang Qi and his assistant. The hem of the dress was specially embroidered with layers of lace, and there were also various exquisite embroidery on the dress. It was an exclusive haute couture dress that even top celebrities couldn't borrow. In the live stream, my daughter is so beautiful. This set is amazing. Sister, he really looks like the little princess. Her temperament is so good. Oh my God, is this Miss Perfect's birthday party? I just checked and found out that the red wine on the table is brand E, and a bottle costs 5 digits. It's like a buffet, cac. Xiangyi held Sure Sui's arm as they passed through the crowd and entered the inner courtyard through a circular arch. Only then did the audience realize that there was a completely different world inside. There were a few clumps of green bamboo, a few rockery, and a few clusters of flowers. Everywhere was filled with a sense of harmony and safety. There was a small wooden horse with rabbit ears, a swing with a bow tied to it, and a small rubber band tied to the sycamore tree. It was full of life. These things are actually still here. Xiangyi murmured softly. These were all things she had played with when she was young. She didn't expect them to be so well preserved. She felt a little guilty. After she moved out, it seemed that she rarely came back. Little Xiangyi. Her uncle's voice pulled her back to reality from her melancholy. Xiangyi looked in the direction of the voice, and the corners of her mouth twitched slightly. She saw that Xiangfeng had countless gift boxes stuck to his body, and there was even a ribbon tied to his head. He looked just like a Santa Claus in action, exuding a silly aura. He chuckled and said, "Come open the gifts." Chapter 855. Xiangyi tilted her head and tapped her chin with her fingertips as she analyzed seriously. It must be a trap, just like the year before. Xiangfeng had used a similar trick before. He took out 5 boxes for Xiangyi to reach in and pick a gift. Xiangyi opened a box and felt something hard and cold. Xiangfeng laughed wickedly and said, "There's a box with a spider in it." Xiangyi retracted her hand. A spider the size of an adult's palm was crawling on the back of her hand. She was so scared that her face turned pale. Although Xiangfeng quickly explained that it was just a toy that mimicked a spider, he was still beaten up by the Demon King until he cried and crawled up a tree. Her gaze fell on the brightly colored gift boxes on Xiangfeng's body. Xiangyi cautiously and carefully chose one. When she opened it, a small card fell out of the box. "Congratulations, you've won another precious lottery ticket. Are you surprised? Are you surprised?" Xiangfeng looked at her proudly, thinking that his idea was really wonderful. It was 100 times better than the play-dead plan he had thought of before. Unexpectedly, the girl's face was solemn. When she opened the second box, she was very careful and was ready to escape at any time. Xiang Feng. Was Qian Nian a little too forceful? He had left a shadow in little Xiangyi's heart in the live stream. The audience was amused by the interaction between uncle and niece. Ha, where's the trust between people? What did little uncle give sister E before? 2,333. I'm so immersed in this. I'm starting to get nervous with sister E. The second box was opened. Xiangyi immediately retreated and cautiously observed the contents of the box. It was still a small card, but this time, the content was frowny face congratulations. You won another 5 precious lottery tickets. You're the lucky girl. Xiang Feng, wow. 5 more draws. Little Xiangyi is so lucky. Xiangyi, Xiang Feng, was an illusion. Why did it feel like his little niece didn't really want to draw? Shi Sui chuckled. Excuse me, can a family member draw on your behalf? Xiang Feng glared at him. What kind of family member are you? Xiangyi smiled. Sure, you can draw for me. The man's bony hand slowly opened the gift boxes. +2 lottery tickets, +1 lottery ticket. -3 lottery tickets, Xiangyi. Why is there a reduction? It won't be a negative number in the end. Audience, ha ha ha, you're giving a gift. Xiang Feng. In your eyes, am I such a scam? Am I not the most reliable uncle in the world? Xiangyi didn't say anything, but her eyes said one thing. Doubt. Xiang Feng, oh? Underscore? Oh hey, was the one who brought shame upon himself. Shi Sui moved quickly, and it didn't take long for him to open all the gift boxes on Xiang Feng's body. They were all small cards. 1 + 5 + 3 + 2 + 1 - 3. Shi Sui glanced at them and got the answer. 21, that's fast. Xiang Feng complained in a low voice. He cleared his throat and said, Congratulations, little Xiangyi. You've won a total of 21 lottery tickets. Each ticket can be exchanged for a gift. 21 years old, corresponding to 21 gifts. Xiangyi was stunned. So she had misunderstood her uncle. Xiang Feng said mysteriously, I didn't put a spider this time, I put a little frog. I caught it with my own hands. Ha ha ha. Shi Sui. Audience. Xiangyi was so moved that she held back her tears. Chapter 856. Spiders and frogs happened to be the 2 creatures that Xiangyi was most afraid of. Xiang Feng, who had watched her grow up, knew this very well. The program crew looked at each other and came to a conclusion. Sure enough, there was a reason for everyone's love and bullying. The live stream viewers couldn't help but laugh. Oh, Xiang Feng, what kind of boss are you? Little frog. Xiang Feng, lonely, does it sound good? Smile. Case solved, little uncle's bullying status is well deserved. No one can shake him. Even though her little uncle was indeed a little unreliable, Xiangyi still hugged Xiang Feng. Little uncle, you're so nice. Xiang Feng said matter-of-factly, of course you're good to our little Xiangyi. Our little rabbit is worth it. Xiangyi's little face dimpled as her heart warmed. At this moment, Xiang Feng changed the topic. We've already used spiders and little frogs. What surprise should we prepare for next year? Lizards? Snakes? Little uncle's bad taste was really Xiangyi sighed helplessly. Forget it. What else can my little uncle do? As long as he was happy. The 3 of them walked towards the living room. Xiang Feng was still showing off his excellent idea, skipping along as he walked when he suddenly heard his little niece whispering to Shi Sui. Except for the little frog, I'll give you half of my gift later. The man chuckled. Thank you, Sister E. Xiang Feng. Why did she dislike his little frog? He was the one who kissed it by the pond. Hand. Grab. Hand. The live stream viewers cheered. Yes. What was this? This was a sugar duck. In the living room, everyone was changing their shoes at the entrance. Xiangyi naturally had her own exclusive bunny ear slippers. Xiang Feng and the other crew members were wearing ordinary gray slippers, but they were all new. As for Shi Sui, she had a pair of disposable slippers, the kind that the hotel gave away for free. Shi Sui didn't mind and calmly changed into them. Xiang Feng elbowed him and gloated, "It's your first time visiting, so it's inevitable that you'll feel wronged." Shi Sui smiled. "Why would I feel wronged? I'm happy that Tutu brought me home." The moment he opened his mouth, the old dragons, had a strong taste. Xiang Feng, humph, glib tongue. A cold sneer came from the kitchen. She looked in the direction of the voice to see that Xiang Yin was standing at the entrance of the kitchen with glutinous rice noodles in his hands. Xiang Yi's eyes curved with a smile. "Grandpa, are you making red bean cake? I'll do it for you." Xiang Yin glared at him and barked, "Go away, what are you doing?" A new fan in the live stream did not understand the situation and typed on the public screen, "Is Sister E and Grandpa not on good terms? Grandpa is so fierce." I'm almost crying through the screen. In the next second, Xiang Yin said loudly, "We don't have the rule of making girls work." New fans. "Sorry to disturb you." The old fans replied calmly, "Young people, just get used to it, get used to it." Shi Sui naturally rolled up her sleeves and said, "Grandpa, let me do it." Xiang Yin sized her up from head to toe. Although he had already accepted her, he still said arrogantly, Can you do it?" The viewers in the live stream were overjoyed and began to race to answer the question. I know how to answer this question. I suggest you all flood the screen with comments. Shi Sui, no. New fans. What? Aren't you all fans? Why are you so anti-fans? The anti-fans have been cornered by you. Chapter 857. Shi Sui didn't say much and simply entered the kitchen. She politely asked Xiang Yin a few questions and soon got the hang of it. A good-looking person would be pleasing to the eye no matter what he did. Shi Sui looked down and slowly pinched out red bean balls with her slender fingers. Xiang Yin could tell from her proficient posture that she must have done a lot of hard work. He humphed and started pinching the balls as well. Shi Sui deliberately slowed down her movements. Although she was a little slower than Xiang Yin, she wasn't so slow that she seemed clumsy. Seeing this, Xiang Yin smiled confidently. "Pushed, that's all there is to it." Xiang Yin said arrogantly, "Hey, you can't pinch the balls like that. Look at me. I have to do this so that I can pinch them quickly and beautifully." Shi Sui was very respectful and would humbly ask for advice from time to time. Her learning speed was neither fast nor slow, which fully satisfied Xiang Yin's desire to teach. Soon, Xiang Yin's hearty laughter came from the kitchen. Xiang Yi, who was in the living room, heaved a sigh of relief. Great. Her brothers were sitting opposite her, and when they saw her rejoicing, they were all a little displeased. My sister, whom I've doted on for so many years, has actually learned to chase after an outsider. Xiang Yu threw the gift into Xiang Yi's arms and said, "I bought it casually. You can throw it away if you don't like it." "I won't dislike a gift from you, brother," Xiang Yi said with a gentle and obedient smile. Even the most cold-hearted person would be moved by her. "It's so beautiful. I love it." Xiang Yu had given her a mechanical keyboard. Apart from the fact that the keyboard itself was a global limited edition, every keycap was personally designed, drawn, and colored by him. The aloof esports guru pressed down on his cap and said coolly, "Pushed, it's just a keyboard. What's there to be happy about? I just casually colored it and installed it. I didn't expect you to like it so much." Despite saying that, the corners of Xiang Yu's mouth couldn't help but curl up. The viewers of the live stream were appalled. Smog, pay attention to your facial expressions. You're grinning from ear to ear. What a cute bunny pattern. You're telling me that you just casually drew it? One look, and you can tell she put a lot of effort into this. Sameo Go was amazing. He won the world championship with his hands, and even painted a keycap for his sister. Assemble the keyboard. Without waiting for the audience to finish lamenting, Xiang Qi directly pushed him aside and came over with a big box. He did not look like a mysterious and gloomy designer at all. Instead, he looked like a naive person. "Sister, You're not allowed to like his gift. You have to like me first. Xiangyi blinked her eyes. The desire to survive that had been cultivated since she was a child was not for show. She did not answer, but opened the box and changed the topic. Wow, so cute. Xiangqi gave her a set of bunny dolls, and he even made dresses, shoes, hats, and bags for each of the dolls. If Xiangyi wanted to play dress-up games, she could change the bunny plushies for an entire afternoon. Xiangqi said unhappily, "Just wow?" Xiangyi took the hint. "Wow, I've taught you for nothing." Xiangqi crossed his arms, looking devilish and sinister, but the moment he opened his mouth, it made everyone's jaws drop. "Yes, oh, there has to be a twist and a rise, okay?" Xiangyi, "Wow, oh, Xiangqi, that's more like it." The audience in the live stream couldn't stop laughing. San Maoji's childishness is confirmed. Hades, what kind of elementary school behavior is this? Ha ha ha, teaching your sister to say wow may be a little late, but it will definitely happen. Chapter 858. After Xiangqi finished teaching, Xiangli handed his sister a paper bag and said in a warm and gentle voice, "Happy birthday, Tutu." Xiangyi took it and opened it, only to find that there were various small bags inside, each of which had the name of a crop written on it. These are the super seeds developed by the Academy of Agricultural Sciences next door. I'm just offering them to you. Xiangyi was speechless. I can plant seeds again. Happy. Thank you, second brother. I'll definitely record the growth process properly and send you feedback when the time comes. This was also a small contribution to the Academy of Agricultural Sciences. Xiangli patted her little head and said, "As long as Tutu likes it, the data isn't important. Is there anything else you want to plant? Do you want seeds of flowers and plants?" "Sure, I want to make another glass greenhouse, adjust the temperature and humidity, and plant some tropical plants. By the way, I also want to raise birds." "Brother, do you think it's better to raise pigeons or parrots?" "Pigeons." Xiangli smiled like a spring breeze. "Don't you like to eat roasted pigeons?" The viewers of the live stream. "Pigeons, you're despicable. You're craving my body. Pigeons are so cute. How can you treat them like this? Please send me one when you're done roasting them." Boo-hoo, Dr. Chu is so gentle. His knowledge and information density are far higher than that of ordinary people, but he's still willing to listen to Sister Yi's nonsense. He's so knowledgeable and gentle. I love him so much. After the three brothers gave their gifts, everyone's eyes converged on Sanction. As always, he was dressed in a suit and leather shoes. His dark gray suit was neatly ironed, and his tie and cuffs were meticulously groomed. His temperament was like a cedar standing tall on a snowy mountain, cold and distant. He took out a card from his pocket and handed it to Xiangyi with a calm expression, as if the gift was not worth mentioning. "It's a small gift, accept it." Xiangfeng, who was at the side, exclaimed, "Little Qinchin, isn't this your salary card?" Sanction frowned and glanced at him coldly. Xiangfeng suddenly didn't dare to say anything. The audience, the live streaming room, which was already bustling with activity, was now in an uproar. I'm jealous, I'm a lemon essence, orange essence, grapefruit essence. Other girls' boyfriends won't let me down, and other girls' brothers won't let me down either. Crack, crack, crack. I've seen a husband hand over his salary card to his wife, but this is the first time I've seen an older brother hand over his salary card to his younger sister. This was what it meant to be loved by everyone. I'm so envious that I'm shedding tears. I want Sister E to roast a pigeon. Xiangyi was stunned for a moment. Her first reaction was to decline. I can't accept this, Sanction. What? Are you looking down on me? No, then take it. Before Xiangyi could think of a reason to refuse, Sanction had already placed the card into her small bag. Buy whatever you want. Don't make yourself suffer. Sanction, who had always been a man of few words, said a few more words of blessings, which was rare for him. Joy, peace, and peace. You can look forward to it. Xiangyi's eyes turned red as she nodded vigorously. Sanction responded indifferently with an mm. Suddenly, Xiangyi threw herself into his arms. Brother, you have to be well too. Sangchen's body stiffened. He wasn't used to such emotional expressions, but he still raised his hand and gently patted the little bunny on the back. You'll never have to grow up. I'll spoil my little sister for the rest of my life. Chapter 859. This scene made many people in front of the screen feel like crying. At the scene, Xiang Yu and the others were fine, but Xiang Feng burst into tears. Little Chun-Chun, you finally said something human after being a jerk for so many years. In an instant, everyone stood a little further away from him, lest they get implicated when the devil flew into a rage. The viewers in the live stream were originally in tears, but they burst into laughter at this moment. Feng Feng, has your mouth been blessed? Ha ha ha, Xiang Feng must have been beaten up a lot since he was a child. Uncle Xiang's mouth is perfect for team battles. Once he opens his mouth, he'll definitely be able to draw hatred. Xiang Feng was crying so hard that tears and snot were flowing down his face. He even took the initiative to run over and hug the siblings. Be good, both of you. I'll take care of you for the rest of your lives. Sangchen looked at the tears dripping onto the sleeves of his suit, and the corners of his eyebrows twitched. Bear with it. What are you guys still standing there for? Let's hug. Xiang Feng roared at the other three. Xiang Yu and the others hesitated for a while, but all of them said no. It's disgusting, no way. You're too pretentious, sissy. I don't like physical contact with humans. However, their bodies were very honest. The three of them walked over and hugged each other tightly. They weren't used to it at all. However, it was surprisingly heartwarming. It was a wonderful feeling. Madame Xiang was sitting on a rattan chair not far away. Seeing this, she wiped her tears with a handkerchief. She was old and couldn't bear to see such things. Xiang Yin and Shi Sui, who were in the kitchen, also cast their gazes over. Xiang Yin said, "This little rascal has been unreliable for decades, but today he's acting up." Shi Sui smiled gently at the side. Great. It's great that Xiang Yu is so happy. After the hug, everyone was a little uncomfortable. Xiang Feng was holding a tissue and blowing his nose while huffing and puffing. Sangchen looked at the snot that had stained his lapel, gritted his teeth, and silently took off his jacket. Continue to bear with it. It's Xiang Yu's birthday today, so I shouldn't beat Uncle Xiang up. Xiang Yi's eyes were red. She used the excuse of going to the bathroom and washed her face with cold water. Her phone vibrated. She picked it up and saw that it was a message from Anan. Nan, how Nan? Wow. Is your mother-in-law crazy? Xiang Yi sent a question mark over. Then, Anan sent her a link. Xiang Yi clicked on it a few minutes later. In front of the washstand, the little girl was so angry that her shoulders were trembling. Other than her family, there were very few people or things that could make her so emotional. When the audio file reached the end, it automatically started to loop again. Leave him. The Shi family has the genes of lunatics, so sooner or later, Shi Sui will also go crazy. His father is trash. He's the same. He might even be worse than trash. Every sentence was like a curse. These were all the conversations that Shu Xia had with her in the glass greenhouse that day. What made Xiang Yi even angrier was that Shu Xia had tampered with her words. Auntie, have you ever thought that all of this is your problem? What are you talking to me about? I don't want to hear it at all. I just want to be with him. You're not fit to be Shi Sui's mother at all. I'm enough for Shi Sui. Please leave. After listening carefully, she realized that these words didn't sound smooth. It wasn't difficult for Xiang Yi to guess what kind of audio software was used. With a cold expression on her face, she dialed Shu Xia's number. Beep, the call was hung up. Chapter 860. Xiang Yi bit her lower lip. She couldn't figure out why Shu Xia would slander her own son. The person who hurt her was Father Shi. What was the point of venting her anger on Shi Sui? Xiang Yi took a deep breath. She couldn't wait for Si Chuanbai to remove the trending topic, so she wrote a program to forcibly hide the entry. However, it was better to open it up. Hiding the entry could only control public opinion on the internet, but it couldn't solve the root of the problem. Xu Xia. The Xu family and the Xiang family lived in the same villa area. Xiangyi planned to go directly to the Xu family to find the Xiang family. She didn't want others to know. Halfway through the window, she heard her little uncle's voice behind her. "Little Xiangyi, what are you doing? It's too dangerous. Come down quickly." Xiangyi made a shushing gesture and lowered her voice. "Little uncle, I'm going out for a while. I'll be back soon." Xiang Feng straightened his back and assumed the posture of an uncle. "Where are you going?" Xiangyi hesitated for a few seconds and chose to be honest. "That's about it. I'm going to the Xu family now." Xiang Feng, who had always been talkative, fell silent. Xiangyi sensed that something was wrong and narrowed her eyes. "Little uncle, do you know something?" "No, nothing." Xiang Feng waved his hand. The girl's eyes flickered and she decided to test him. "Then I'll go." No, wait." Xiang Feng strode forward and grabbed Xiangyi. "Don't go see that woman. She's not normal at all." As soon as he said that, Xiang Feng felt that he had misspoken. He wanted to remedy it, but it was too late. Xiangyi looked at him eagerly. "Little uncle, tell me, okay?" The Xiang family's ancestral pride couldn't resist Xiangyi's coquettishness. Xiang Feng was no exception. He sighed. Let's talk outside. You go first." Xiangyi did as she was told, and Xiang Feng followed her out. Behind the old mansion, the figures of uncle and niece appeared. Xiang Feng picked a small corner and looked around. After making sure that no one was around, he sighed and began to tell Xiangyi about the dusty past. When Shi Yuan and Xu Xia got married, it was hard to describe it as a grand wedding. Everyone in South City was saying that the two of them were a match made in heaven. After their marriage, the two of them did spend some sweet time together. Soon, Shi Sui was born. Once, Shi Yuan discovered that his wife actually had dual personalities. On one side, she was a dignified and elegant young lady from a prestigious family. On the other side, she was a charming and enchanting bar dancer. I don't know exactly what happened, but Uncle Shi probably found out that Auntie Xu was fooling around with another man. Xiang Feng braced himself and explained, carefully choosing his words for fear of dirtying his little niece's ears. "But this is a conflict between husband and wife." "What does it have to do with Shi Sui?" Xiang Feng sighed even more heavily. Auntie Xu didn't know that she had a split personality. Huh? After Xu Xia woke up, she did not have any memories of her second personality. She only found Shi Yuan's doubts baffling. Shi Yuan was also a stubborn person. He imprisoned her in the Shi family and invited a psychiatrist to treat her. Xu Xia had always been very resistant and refused to cooperate. Although the two of them quarreled, it was still manageable. At least on the surface, it was still acceptable. Until Shi Yuan discovered that Xu Xia had been secretly abusing Shi Sui for several years. Shi Sui was too young at that time. He thought that if he didn't say anything, his parents could still maintain a harmonious relationship. Chapter 861. Little did he know that it would become the fuse that intensified the conflict between Shi Yuan and Xu Xia. Xu Xia's condition worsened, and her two personalities frequently switched. Every time she switched, Shi Yuan would become more paranoid, to the point of morbidity, and his desire to control Xu Xia became stronger and stronger. Xu Xia's hatred accumulated day by day, and her mental state was extremely poor. In her eyes, everyone wanted to harm her. Her body and mind could not bear the negative energy, and Shi Yuan's existence limited all her outlets. Shi Sui's sentence, "Mommy, Daddy just loves you too much," was actually deliberately said for his father outside the door to hear. He wanted to create an illusion so that his father would not hurt his mother anymore. As for him, it was nothing to be hurt a little. Anyway, he would get used to the pain. However, that sentence caused Xu Xia to transfer all her hatred to Shi Sui, who was only 4 or 5 years old at that time. She felt that Shi Sui was not the so-called crystallization of love, but the product of evil. Therefore, the abuse began to intensify. She was not a qualified mother, and Shi Yuan was not a qualified father. At first, he still spent some effort on his son, but later, he was possessed and all his attention fell on Xu Xia. For Sui, that period of time must have been very dark and painful. Sigh, let's not talk about it. Although he was such a dog, every time I think of how he was when he was young, I feel that there's nothing I can't forgive him for. Xiang Feng sighed. He was a few years older than Shi Sui, so he remembered it very clearly. When Shi Sui was carried out of that hellish place, he was skinny and had all kinds of scars on his body. However, the little boy's expression was indifferent and numb, as if he had lost his normal perception of everything. What made Xiang Feng the most uncomfortable was when he saw Shi Sui subconsciously cover his eyes with his hand when he came into contact with the sunlight. He couldn't help but wonder if it was because he was always hiding in the dark that he was afraid of seeing the light. Xiani listened in a daze. Her eyelashes trembled slightly and were stained with moisture. After a while, she raised her little face and held back all her tears. Now was not the time to be pretentious. Instead, it was when he was protecting Shi Sui. Xiang Feng saw that her expression had changed from sad to calm, and for a moment, he was a little nervous. Rabbit, don't think I'm pedantic, but this isn't suitable for you, you know? No matter what, Auntie Shu is still your elder. It's not good for you to go to the Shu family and make a scene. Xiangyi said indifferently, there's no need to go. Xiang Feng breathed a sigh of relief. It's fine as long as you don't go. I'm just afraid that Sui Sui will hold a grudge against you. He suddenly reacted. What are you going to do? Xiangyi shook her phone. Uncle, you don't think that only Madame Shu knows how to record, do you? Xiang Feng. Was this even possible? Sorry, this question is beyond the syllabus. Just as the public opinion was getting more and more heated, Xiangyi, who rarely posted on Weibo, suddenly updated her status. The content was very simple. There were only a few numbers, and a complete audio file was attached. Xiangyi v. 1. Rumors stop with the wise. 2. The rumor monger must be investigated to the end. The netizens were the first to arrive at the scene, and were shocked by Xiangyi's attitude. F***ck, Sister E is so stubborn. When they clicked on the recording, everyone realized that the content was completely different from the version that had been circulating before. A professional player immediately translated the text version and analyzed it word by word. He could be called a famous internet detective. Chapter 862. Minasang. To summarize the key points, Shuringdi's mother, Madame Shu, said the same thing in both recordings, but Sister Yi's words were completely different. In one version, her values were extremely crooked, and she didn't respect her elders at all. In the other version, I was about to cry. My roommate happened to be an expert in editing, so I asked him to help me listen to the recording. He said that the version that Sister E posted was the real conversation. The version that was circulating before was edited. The point is, it was edited. So, there's actually nothing interesting about this. Someone just used a low-level method to tamper with Sister Yi's words. Besides, in the complete version that Sister E posted, Madame Shu's behavior in giving the card to her was so disgusting. Wasn't she selling her son for money? Does Sister E care about your stinky money? Humph. Sob, 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 confess to Sister E, and say, I'll be with him for the rest of his life. It's so sweet. Ah, my roommate asked me to go for supper. I'll get going first. The public opinion changed immediately. Many netizens realized that they had been used as a tool. Everyone persevered and dug out the source of the gossip with great enthusiasm. It was a blogger with more than 100,000 fans. This blogger was probably afraid that he would be reported or even sued, so he quickly denied any involvement and even posted the bank account number that had transferred the money to him. The netizens didn't know until they checked, but when they did, they were shocked. The account number turned out to be Xu Xia's. In an instant, the netizens were in an uproar. His mother spent money to tamper with the recorded conversation with her daughter-in-law just to slander her son for being mentally ill. I'm confused on the spot. I really don't understand what she's doing. This should be one of the top 10 shocking news stories of the year, right? What kind of confusing behavior is Madame Xu doing? Forgive me for being blunt, but although Madame Xu keeps saying that Shui has the genes of a lunatic, I think the one who's mentally ill is Madame Xu. The viewers in the live stream were a little late, but after they saw it, they were still dumbfounded. This. Some netizens wanted to type in the comment section, but they hesitated. Especially those who had called Shui a lunatic. They were too embarrassed to say anything and could only pretend to be dead. The Shui sisters, on the other hand, wept with joy. Sister E is awesome. I won't say anything else. From now on, Spicy Tutu is my half-sister. I agree to this marriage. Sister E, when are you going to marry our Shuringdi? Or even our Shuringdi could marry you. We don't mind him being a gigolo, really. The live broadcast room was filled with joy and happiness. Old residence balcony. Shui received a call from Si Chuanbai and roughly understood the situation. He was being protected by the little rabbit. Again, Shui didn't have the inexplicable chauvinism of some men and didn't think it was shameful. On the contrary, he felt very happy. She had never experienced such happiness in her life. He took out a velvet box from his pocket, his eyes deep and gentle. Would she agree? All of a sudden, two familiar figures entered his ears. The uncle and niece, who had mastered their tree-climbing skills, easily climbed over the wall of the courtyard. Little uncle, do you think I'll scare Shui if I propose to him? Will he say yes to my request? Should I bow or kneel down? The girl's soft and gentle voice entered his ears, causing him to feel a little itchy. His heartbeat became erratic. The following words are not charged. Ha ha ha. Nuanyuan is going to celebrate the new year. There might not be any new chapters later. If there aren't any, I'll make up for it tomorrow night. Thank you for being with me for the past year. This year, Nuanyuan is writing novels, learning novels, and Ganfan. Ganfan is not bad at all. I hope that in 2021, we can continue to grow and become outstanding together. Everyone, new year, fast, happy. Chapter 863. The girl's soft and gentle voice entered his ears, causing him to feel a slight itch. His heartbeat became erratic. It turned out that there was really such a person in this world who could easily affect his heartbeat. The conversation between the uncle and niece continued. Xiang Feng asked, "What did you say? You want to propose to Shui?" "No." He felt like vomiting blood. "Why is my little bunny so unreserved?" Xiangyi tilted her head and asked, "Why? How can a girl propose to a man?" But love is a matter between two people. Be it a boy or a girl, everyone has the right to pursue love. Since a boy can propose to a girl, she can do the same. Why does it have to be a matter of gender? Xiang Feng was speechless. He scratched his head, unable to think of anything to refute Xiangyi. After a long time, he finally said, "What if he proposes to you first?" Xiangyi shook her head and said, "No, Shui is a shy and timid boy. He won't take the initiative to do such a thing." Xiang Feng was speechless. Shy? Timid? What does those two words have to do with Shui? Indeed, lust makes one dizzy. Look, my bunny is so muddle-headed. On the balcony, Shui raised his eyebrows and calmly put the velvet box back into his pocket. Being proposed to by little bunny seems like a good idea. When Xiangyi returned to the living room, the cameras and gazes all turned to her. The girl's body had this kind of magical power. She was clearly quiet and indifferent, but she was exceptionally attractive. "Sister." A pleasant female voice came from the second floor, followed by the sound of footsteps on the wooden stairs. She then complained aggrievedly, "Why are you only back now? I've been looking for you for a long time." The girl was dressed in a fiery red dress and was bright and youthful. She was the chief violinist of the Orpheus Orchestra and Xiangyi's best friend, Jiang Juju. Xiangyi's doe eyes lit up and she rushed toward the stairs. Jiang Juju accidentally missed a step, and her pupils immediately dilated. The expected scene of her falling down the stairs and embarrassing herself in front of everyone didn't happen. On the contrary, she fell into a warm and soft embrace. Xiangyi caught her. Jiang Juju's eyes widened. This scene instantly ignited the nerves of the live stream viewers. Countless cult fans who had drunk Ijio's wine before came out one after another. "Grandma, your CP is finally open for business." I don't care. Jojo is the main palace. Shuringdi is at most a favored concubine. Sob, I want to fall into Sister Yi's arms too. I want Sister Yi to pick me up and gently put me on the ground. In front of the stairs, Jiang Jojo's fair face was flushed, and she didn't even know where to put her hands. Yi's hug, the arrogant and domineering young miss, revealed her shy side at this moment. "Are you all right?" Xiangyi asked gently. When Jiang Juju heard her, the violinist's ears turned red and she stammered, Yes. Xiangyi blinked, thinking that Jiang Juju was frightened. Hence, she rubbed Jiang Juju's head. The sudden head touching made Jiang Juju feel like steam was about to rise from the top of her head. Yi is coaxing me. She must be treating me as her best sister. I'm the person who has the best relationship with Yi in this world. That dog of a sure sway is nothing. Oh, asterisk degree asterisk. Oh. Chapter 864. With Jiang Juju's arrival, Xiangyi was obviously overjoyed as she smiled more often. The two girls had endless things to talk about as they leaned their heads together and chatted about each other's recent situation. They even ignored the fact that they were on a live stream. However, the viewers of the live stream didn't find it boring at all. Instead, they found their conversation very interesting. Why is Ijio so cute? This is how I look when I meet my best friend. We chat on WeChat every day, but we still have a lot to talk about when we meet. Haha. I feel like Sister E is really different when she's with Juju. She's much calmer and more mature when Juju is not around. But she becomes girlier when Juju is around. Seeing that the two girls were getting along harmoniously, the members of the Xiang family were very heartened. Tutu has friends. That's great. When Xiangyi was in school, she rarely mentioned her classmates and friends. They were once worried that Xiangyi might have been bullied in school. Hence, the Xiang family even secretly sent someone to investigate. The answer was that Xiangyi was not isolated, but for some reason, she had many acquaintances but almost no true friends. The Xiang family was most worried that Tutu would be too lonely. By the way, Fu Jiayin is coming later too. He sent me a message. Let me see what kind of silly message he sent. Jiang Juju took out her cell phone and shared her chat history with Fu Jiayin in front of Xiangyi without hesitation. Little Fu tomorrow. Rich, I'm going. Little Fu tomorrow. Rich, I'm almost there. Little Fu tomorrow. Rich, sob, I knocked it. Jiang Juju asked excitedly. What did you knock it on? Did the couple I told you about sprinkle sugar on you again? Xiangyi's eyes were also full of anticipation. Fu Jiayin sent a voice message over. I knocked my knee, QEQ. Jiang Juju couldn't help but roll her eyes. The viewers of the live stream burst into laughter. Turns out it's not that. Ignore him. Jiang Juju pursed her lips and continued. Why does he have so much nonsense to say every day? Here, this is my gift to you. I just casually prepared it. I didn't prepare it carefully. The young lady handed a gift box to Xiangyi. It was a beautiful champagne-colored ribbon with a greeting card and a small bouquet of baby's breath. The packaging was exquisite, and it was obvious that she had put a lot of thought into it. It was something that Sanction and the others could not compare to. Only designer Xiangqi could barely put up a fight. Then I'll tear it down? Open it. But let me say this first. If you don't like it, you can't return it. Xiangyi chuckled. Her slender and soft little hands gently untied the ribbon tied into a bow. In the velvet gift box, there was a delicate bracelet. The thin bracelet was connected by crescent-shaped white mother-of-pearl shells. Each crescent was inlaid with a ring of diamonds. It was the type of jewelry that would make a girl's heart flutter at first glance. Take a good look. Xiangyi's eyes were curved like crescent moons. Noticing the star bracelet on Jiang Jojo's wrist, she asked, "Are we sisters?" Jiang Jojo avoided her gaze and pouted. "I just accidentally bought something of the same series. If you don't mind, you can wear it as sisters." I can reluctantly agree. Xiangyi extended her hand in front of her and said, "Help me put on then." The corners of Jiang Jojo's lips curled up, but she still insisted. "I just bought it casually. I definitely didn't choose it carefully. Anyway, you're not allowed to dislike it." Humph. Chapter 865. In the live stream. Shocking. The Xiang family has been known to be proud and arrogant for generations. Jiang Jojo is really a little cutie who doesn't mean what she says. The stars, the moon, and the stars, to round it up, is happiness. "I don't care, I got it anyway." Ha ha ha. The person in front is awesome. However, when the camera panned to Shi Sui, who had returned to the kitchen, the comments changed abruptly. Most of them felt sorry for Shi Sui, but there are also a few who resented Xiangyi. They're separated by a door. One is happy while the other is bearing with the pain. Does her conscience really not hurt? She just posted on Weibo to defend Shi Sui, and now she's only talking to Jiang Jojo. I wonder if Xiangyi is putting on a show for others. No matter what the reason is, anyone would be upset to be criticized by their own mother in front of the entire internet. Xiangyi, why can't you coax Shi Sui? You're heartless. In particular, when the butler arranged for the servants to take out a large pile of parcels, everyone's resentment instantly increased. "Miss E, these are the parcels that have been sent to you one after another in the past 2 days. Because they've all been specially marked as birthday gifts, I've kept them together and am giving them to you today." The parcels were all torn, but the butler stuck a sticky note on each box. Xiangyi saw many familiar names: Yan Nai, Jiang Chun, and the other members of C7, Yin Jiangxue, Shengguang, Zhong Yi, the players of Team Logic, and the Taoist masters of the major Taoist temples. Although they couldn't come in person, they had all prepared a token of appreciation for Xiangyi. Birthdays were meant to be celebrated in the first place. However, in the eyes of some people, the better Xiangyi was living now, the more upset they would be. It's just a birthday celebration. Must they make such a big fuss? Extravagant. She has the cheek to accept gifts? I'm speechless. Shi Sui is so pitiful. He should marry a virtuous wife. If his wife is not virtuous, his family is not upright. How can he marry a woman like Xiangyi? Is he marrying her as a nanny or an ancestor? There were all sorts of strange discussions. No one could understand why there would be such dark thoughts in the world. Jiang Jojo opened the Xingqian app in a bid to watch the replay of a livestream. She took dozens of screenshots and edited them for her screensaver. Who would have thought that all he could see were unsightly remarks? She was so angry that she was trembling. She typed furiously to argue with the other party. Xiangyi noticed her abnormal mood and sat down beside her. "What's wrong? Look at these people. They were too bored. Could it be that they couldn't bear to see others doing well? All of you are so jealous." Xiangyi frowned as she looked at the comments that were flooding in. This made those jealous people even more excited. It turned out that a casual sentence from them could really affect a celebrity's mood. On what basis? Why was she living such a good life? He was just reincarnated into a good family. What's so great about that? Xiangyi narrowed her eyes and looked at the bullet screen for about 10 seconds. She didn't care about the comments that mocked her, but she did care about the comments that said Shi Sui didn't have a gift. She raised her head and asked the butler calmly, "Have the things I bought arrived?" The butler answered respectfully, "Are they the express deliveries that you asked for? I've saved them separately. Do you want me to bring them over now?" "Yes." Xiangyi got up and walked into the kitchen. She tugged at Shi Sui's sleeve and said with a smile, "Boyfriend, come out and receive the gift." Chapter 866. There was a moment of silence in the live stream where the bullet screen was flooded with comments. What? Did they hear it wrong? Today was Xiangyi's birthday. Why would she ask Shui to accept gifts? The Shui sisters couldn't help but cheer. Ah, so Sister E wasn't joking when she said she would give half of the gifts to Shui. Is it true? Her words enlightened everyone. No way, right? It turned out that she was. Shui followed Xiangyi to the living room in confusion. The butler had already laid out the gift boxes, big and small. There were even more gifts than Xiangyi had received. Xiangyi said a little embarrassedly, "It might be a little too little. Don't mind, 2/3 of it is still on the way." The audience. Everyone at the scene? Shui couldn't help but laugh. Why did you buy so many? As long as Sister E gives me a gift, I'll be very happy." Xiangyi looked straight at him without blinking. Her gaze was gentle, and her tone was firm. "These are for your birthday. If you don't mind, my birthday will be your birthday from now on. The birthday on your profile will also be your birthday. This way, you can celebrate your birthday twice a year." She had been there for his birthdays that no one had celebrated for him. She would make up for the regrets that no one had cared about. Shui's Adam's apple bobbed. He lowered his eyes and looked at Xiangyi with a restrained and deep gaze. The people in the live stream who had been fighting for justice for Shui were now as quiet as chickens, not daring to speak. They had thought that Xiangyi was heartless and wouldn't coax Shui. Unexpectedly, she had already prepared everything. She had even prepared so many gifts. The Shui sisters, Spicy Tutu, and Untimely Fit, were now each more stubborn than the other. "I'm just asking you guys, does your face hurt?" That one sentence killed everyone in an instant. Those people either left the live stream dejectedly or pretended that they hadn't posted anything. In the living room, Xiangyi took a deep breath. She was so nervous that her heart was pounding. Her cherry lips opened slightly. "Shui, I have something to tell you." Her lips were sealed by the man's large palm. It was warm to the touch and slightly rough. She looked at the man in front of her in confusion. Shui was also looking at her. The usual laziness on his handsome face was gone, replaced by gentleness and seriousness. His voice was extremely low, revealing a hint of affection. "There are some things that a man should take the initiative." Xiangyi stared blankly for a moment before she suddenly realized something. He couldn't have heard it, right? Shui was dressed in a formal suit today. He took off his suit jacket, revealing a clean white shirt underneath, which was tucked into his black trousers elegantly. His voice was low and magnetic. "Xiangyi, I used to have a lot of dark and unbearable thoughts. I had never thought of climbing out of that abyss because I felt that even if I did, there wouldn't be a single ray of light. But one day, I suddenly changed my mind. I met my light. I met a gentleness that I had never met before in my life. I also met a stroke of luck that I had never met before in my life. She is the one and only girl in this world. She is the secret that I have hidden in my heart for many years. She is my yearning for all the good things in my heart. I want to protect my light. I want her to shine forever." The man knelt down on one knee and looked up at Xiangyi with a smile on his face. He was as pious as a believer praying to God. "Marry me, will you?" Chapter 867. Patter. Shui opened the velvet box that she had prepared beforehand. After opening it, the diamond ring inside shone brightly. It was an extremely simple design, but the design was ingenious and unique. A circle of fine diamonds surrounded the moon, with a water droplet-shaped pink diamond in the middle, like a lover's heart. The moment Shui knelt down on one knee, the live stream of Two Under One Roof exploded. When a man's deep and gentle voice said, "Marry me, okay," the comments in the comment section set a new record since the start of the show. "Wow, wow, wow, wow. I declare you officially husband and wife, and send you to the bridal chamber. He's done it, he's done it. Sure, Ingdi is too good today. Since you've already proposed, it's time for the wedding, right? It was time to pick a place for their honeymoon, right? It's time to prepare for the baby's 1-month-old celebration, right? At this moment, even the audience, who didn't usually fall for the untimely couple, couldn't stop laughing. Ayaya, the past 2 months of live streaming were not in vain. These two children had finally come to fruition. The camera panned across the faces of the Xiang family. Xiang humphed and pinched the dumpling in his hand angrily. Madame Xiang wiped her tears with a handkerchief, but there was a gratified smile on her face. Sanction was as cold and distant as ever. However, his hands hanging by the side of his trousers were clenched into fists, revealing his knuckles and blue veins, revealing his emotions. Xiang Li had a warm smile on his face like a spring breeze. He only raised his hand to push up his glasses. His black eyes behind the lenses flashed with a dark light. As if he was preparing to plot something, Xiang Qi was so anxious that he was jumping up and down. Xiang Yu pressed down on his cap, while Zhang Jujiu pouted in displeasure. As for Xiang Feng, he was so moved that he cried and kept muttering, "Promise him, promise him." The netizens jokingly called him an elite player on the front line, a true portrayal of the majority of CP fans. It felt like a few seconds had passed, but it also felt like an eternity. When the camera finally returned to Xiang Yi's face, the netizens were all nervous, waiting for the girl's response. Xiang Yi's reaction was slower than everyone had imagined. The girl was at a loss and subconsciously blurted out, "You proposed first, so can I still propose to you?" Poof. Whether it was the audience or the live stream, everyone couldn't help but laugh. How could she be so cute? To everyone's surprise, Shi Sui's answer was. Shi Sui smiled and said, "If Tutu wants to, it's not impossible." Everyone. The live stream audience. Listen, is this something a human would say? A dog, and it was Shuringdi's dog. She could not be more flirtatious. Xiang Yi considered it seriously for a few seconds. "Then I want to propose too." Shi Sui's eyes revealed a trace of astonishment. "Now?" "Yes." Xiang Yi nodded vigorously. She looked down at Shi Sui, but there was no arrogance in her eyes. Instead, she was full of sincerity. 16 years old. Love at first sight. 17 years old. Always chasing after that person. 18 years old. I secretly checked the legal age for marriage. 19 years old. I dreamed that I would spend the rest of my life with him. I was happy for a long, long time. 20 years old. For some reason, I gradually drifted away from him. Fortunately, we were lucky enough to reunite in 2 under 1 roof. 21 years old. The person I liked became my boyfriend. He is also my light. Xiang Yi paused, and the girl's cheeks dimpled. His name is Shi Sui. Hello, Shi Sui. Are you going to marry me? Chapter 868. In the live stream, the audience was dumbfounded. Oh my God! Sister E actually proposed to him. What kind of crazy plot is this? Even the script of a movie wouldn't dare to do this. Ah, it's a double arrow. It's a double arrow of love. I believe in love again. Tie it, tie it, tie it. I'm going to burst into tears, lock it up for untimely. Forever and ever. Shi Sui's peach blossom-shaped eyes were no longer sharp and vicious. Instead, they were filled with deep affection and tenderness that made one unable to extricate themselves from it. He said, "I'm willing." Xiang Yi said with a smile, "I'm willing too." Mutual proposal, mutual consent. There was a round of applause at the venue, and the live stream was also flooded with all sorts of clapping, sprinkling flowers, stars, and firecrackers emojis. Shi Sui put the ring on Xiang Yi's finger, which was neither too tight nor too loose, just right for her. The girls under the microscope noticed this detail and screamed in front of the screen. It was obvious that Shi Sui had premeditated this from the start. Someone shouted, "Kiss her," and the crowd immediately cheered. Xiang Yin and the brothers of the Xiang family turned sullen. Because Xiang Yi liked him, they could reluctantly accept Shi Sui. However, the thought of this dog of a man acting intimately with Xiang Yi made them extremely displeased. They wanted to beat him up for holding her hand. If he dared to kiss her, they would break his legs. Fortunately, Shui took the psychological feelings of the Xiang family into consideration and merely pecked Xiang Yi's fair forehead lightly. At the end of the day, there was still plenty of time. On the other hand, Xiang Yi took the initiative to tiptoe and kiss the corner of his lips, causing another wave of traffic to explode. The number of online viewers in the live stream rose again and again, and even seemed to be breaking through 30 million. At this point, Xiang Yi's status and popularity in the livestream variety show industry was unshakable. Xiang Yin was so infuriated that he was fuming with anger, while the brothers of the Xiang family looked increasingly sullen. Sangchen, the great devil, immediately grabbed his sister and pulled her to his side. He said coldly, "What did I teach you? Have you forgotten all about it? You're not allowed to date at such a young age." Xiang Yi cringed and continued, "But I like him too much," Sangchen sighed. In front of others, he was a terrifying demon king, but in front of his sister, he doted on her unbelievably. "You can like him." In the next second, Sangchen said with a straight face, "But no matter what in this world, the person you like the most must be yourself." Xiang Yi blinked her eyes and responded obediently, but in her heart, she was thinking that family was the most important and the most important thing. Now it was time to add Shui to the list. While the atmosphere was harmonious, an uninvited figure appeared at the door. Everyone looked at each other when they saw Xu Xia's arrival. Even in the live stream, there were fewer comments. With all due respect, what is Ms. Xu doing here? Isn't she embarrassed?" Xu Xia did not expect that she would be so unpopular. She frowned and maintained the elegant and dignified demeanor of a socialite. "Xiang Yi, happy birthday." She was holding a small gift box in her hand. "I specially chose this perfume. It should suit you." The butler was very perceptive and took the initiative to accept the gift. Xiang Yi thanked her politely. "Thank you, Auntie." Apart from that, she did not say anything else. She maintained basic social etiquette, simply because she was Shui's mother. Xu Xia flicked her long hair and glanced at Shui. Seemingly inadvertently, she said deliberately, "Don't you feel disgusted that someone who shouldn't be here is here? Even the air has become smelly." Chapter 869. A question mark appeared on top of Xiang Yi's head. What kind of confusing speech was this? The others were even more speechless. "You're the one who led the charge to slander your own son, and you're also the one who humiliated your own son in front of your daughter-in-law. Now, you're here to ruin the atmosphere. You really don't have any self-awareness." Xiang Yi ignored Xu Xia's sarcasm. Her doe eyes flashed with worry as she looked at Shui. The man's expression was indifferent. His eyelids were lowered, and no one knew what he was thinking. Xiang Yi's heart felt like it was being squeezed. It was very uncomfortable. The girl quietly hooked Shui's finger, wanting to transmit her warmth to him. Shui rubbed the girl's soft palm a few times, indicating that he was fine. The intimate action of the two provoked Xu Xia even more. She spoke slowly and with a gentle tone. At first glance, it didn't sound aggressive, but in fact, every word and sentence was extremely mean when one thought about it carefully. "Xiang Yi, I'm telling you this because I'm your mother's good friend. With the Xiang family backing you up, it's okay even if your taste in men is a little bad. But you can't be completely without a bottom line. At the very least, you have to choose a normal person. If you choose a lunatic, what if he goes crazy in the future? Genes are very important. You have to think carefully. Don't mind Auntie's nagging. I'm doing this for your own good." Xiang Yi had never liked to scold her elders, but today, she made an exception. The girl put on a fake smile. "Auntie, are you really doing this for my own good, or do you just hate to see Shui do well?" Xu Xia asked knowingly, "Who is Shui?" This sentence completely angered Xiang Yi. "Madam Xu, I can understand that you don't like Uncle Shu, but that's between you and Uncle Shu. Why do you have to involve Shui?" What kind of heinous things did he do to make you hate him so much? People who rarely lost their temper were scarier than ordinary people when they did. Even Xu Xia was shocked by Xiangyi's reaction. The girl's aura was so strong that it made her scalp tingle. However, the viewers in the live stream were exclaiming, "What the F***, CK? Sister E is going against her future mother-in-law. Once Tudu shows her power, Sister E becomes Brother E. My brother E is ruthless and doesn't say much." But when she came back to her senses, Xu Xia was embarrassed and angry. She was actually scolded by a little girl. What do you know? Xu Xia wanted to give an example of Shi Sui's heinous crimes, but she suddenly stopped. Her beautiful eyes were filled with confusion. It seemed that Shi Sui hadn't done anything. But why did she hate Shi Sui so much? Why did she hate Shi Sui so much? Do you really hate Shi Sui? Or is it because you have nowhere to vent your hatred onto him? Xiangyi asked indifferently. Everyone looked at Xu Xia. Her face suddenly turned pale, and her head throbbed with pain. Xu Xia didn't admit that she had dual personality disorder. She often refused to take the medicine prescribed by Dr. Gu, so she would act up from time to time. Of course, she didn't think that she was sick. She just felt unwell. Xu Xia stuttered for a long time and couldn't say a word. Instead, cold sweat kept dripping down. Her hands trembled as she fumbled for a bottle of medicine in her bag. But because her hands were shaking too much, the medicine bottle fell to the ground and rolled all the way to Shi Sui's feet. The label on the bottle was transmitted to countless people's screens through the live stream. Chapter 870. Shi Sui bent his knees and immediately picked up the bottle of medicine with his slender fingers. He even deliberately pressed the side of a label against his palm. However, Xu Xia's emotions were quite unstable as she shrieked, "Don't touch my things." Shi Sui paused in his actions. A moment later, he handed the bottle of medicine to Xiangyi and said in a hoarse voice, "Give it to her for me." "Okay." Xiangyi went to return the medicine expressionlessly, but Xu Xia slapped the bottle away. "He touched it. It's dirty, I don't want it." Not only was Xiangyi angry, even Xiangyin, who used to dislike Shi Sui the most, couldn't help but stand up and speak up for him. "Xia, you're already an adult. Why are you still angry with a child? Outsiders may not know about what happened back then, but we still remember it. We know that you're angry, and Shi Yuan is indeed a jerk. He doesn't deserve our sympathy at all for ending up in such a state. But what did Shi Sui do wrong? Huh? He's so young, but he was beaten up badly by Shi Yuan in order to protect you. What about you? You even secretly abused him." Madame Xiang adjusted her shawl and was much more dignified and elegant than Xu Xia. "Xia, you have to see a doctor for your physical illness, and it's the same for your mental illness. Don't be stubborn and let Shi Sui off. He has never owed you anything." Xiang Yin's words caused an uproar in the live stream. Abuse? Didn't Xu Xia keep saying that the Shi family has crazy genes? Why is she behaving so strangely? At this moment, a large group of famous detectives appeared. I've learned a little about psychology. To be honest, I think Xu Xia has a serious psychological problem. The symptoms of sudden temper tantrums are very similar to manic episodes. During episodes, the patient may have memory disorders, behavior disorders, and a loss of self-awareness. Friends, I quickly took a screenshot and used the translation software to flip through the label on the medicine bottle. Guess what medicine it is? Stop keeping us in suspense. Hurry up and tell us. I'm guessing it's for mental illness. That's right. It's for treating mental illnesses. I just showed it to my colleague in the psychiatry department. She said that the medicine is prescribed for patients with severe bipolar disorder. Oh my God, I feel like I've eaten a big melon. Everyone was dumbfounded by what they saw. So, the one who was really sick was actually Xu Xia? However, she kept saying that Shi Sui had the crazy genes of the Shi family. It was too ironic. Xu Xia had no idea that she had been exposed by the netizens. Her eyes were red as she looked at Shui with hatred. Shui slowly walked up to her. He was no longer the little boy he used to be. Now, he was even taller than Xia, who was wearing high heels. "What are you doing?" Xia asked cautiously. "Stay away from me." Scram. Shui's expression was calm, and his voice was calm. "I've never hated you." This one sentence made the hysterical Xia quiet down. "It doesn't matter if you hate me." Shui smirked self-deprecatingly. "If possible, I hope you'll forget me. After all, it's tiring to hate someone all the time." Xia's eyes were a little dazed. She seemed to have looked past the slender and thin man in front of her and saw the little boy who had protected her when she was curled up in the corner back then. "Mom, this is the last time I'm calling you Mom. Last time, you didn't want me. This time, I don't want you anymore. I've found my happiness, and I hope you will continue to be happy." Chapter 871. I also hope that you will continue to be happy. The man's voice was low and gentle, without any hostility. He had never let go. He just didn't care anymore. In this world, little Bunny was the most important. Xia stared at him in a daze. Her head was about to explode, but she couldn't feel it at all. Dr. Gu, whom Shui had contacted, arrived. He and a few assistants persuaded Xia to leave. Fortunately, Xia didn't overreact and allowed the medical staff to help her out. Dr. Gu was in his 50s and was a little plump. He looked at Shui with a kind gaze. "Your mother's condition is getting worse. She didn't want it to be like this. Don't be upset. Just take it that her heart has caught a little cold." Shui nodded. Thank you. Dr. Gu sighed. In the end, he still felt a little sad. He was friends with Shi Yuan and Xia. When they got married, he even gave them a share of the wedding. He didn't expect that they would end up like this. Shi Yuan was basically crazy and couldn't bear to hear Xia's name at all. Xia's personality disorder was getting more and more frequent, and there were even signs of a third personality being born. At this moment, Xia, who had already walked to the door, suddenly stopped in her tracks and whispered 2 words. Sui. The medical staff gently comforted her and helped her leave. Dr. Gu's expression was very complicated. He said, "Your parents gave you this name. Shui means good all year round, and is often used as a congratulatory phrase at the end of letters." He patted Shui's shoulder and didn't say anything else. He simply said goodbye and left. In the live stream, the comment section was a little sad. Sob. Shui's name is so beautiful. I've seen the love letter my grandfather wrote to my grandmother, and the ending was a compliment to Shui. Maybe Shui's parents also had a wonderful time in the beginning. This name is obviously filled with blessings for the child Kak. Shui looked calm and steady, but Xiangyi could still feel his sadness. She went to Li Jinyu and said a few words. Not long after, Li Jinyu announced in front of the camera, "Today's live broadcast ends here. After all, it's Sister Yi's birthday. We won't disturb her reunion with her family." Many of the audience protested. "Broadcast it. Do I lack this bit of traffic? Play another 5 gigabytes. I want to see the Xiang brothers climbing a tree in a group. The child has been looking forward to it for a long time. Woo. Although it's a pity, I still want Sister Yi to be happy with her family. Am I the only one who thinks that Sister Yi asked the director to stop the show because she was concerned about Shui's feelings?" But Li Jinyu's tone changed, and he said with a smile, "Do you guys want to see Sister Yi's unboxing video? We can arrange a row." All of a sudden, the pop-up comments flooded the screen, all of them expressing their interest. Xiangyi was still a little confused, so Ruan Qing explained to her, "The unboxing video can simply be interpreted as the opening of a package and then showing the contents of the package. So, it's just to show everyone what I've received as a gift?" Xiangyi asked innocently. "Will anyone want to see it? In the live stream, I'm begging for the unboxing video." Yes. If you dare to record it, I'll dare to watch it. I really want to see what Sister E has received. Chapter 872. Li Jinyu showed Xiangyi the comments. Xiangyi said good-naturedly, since there are so many people who want to see it, let's record it. Ha ha ha. Okay, I'll record it for you later. The live stream came to an abrupt end, but the audience didn't think much of it. Instead, they were looking forward to the video of Xiangyi unboxing. After turning off the live stream, the Xiang family was obviously more relaxed. After Xiang Yin kneaded the red bean dumplings, he placed them on the pot to steam. He wiped his hands and went out of the kitchen with sure sway. In the living room, Xiangyi, Sangchen, Xiang Li, and Xiang Feng were playing cards. Jiang Jujio and the others were watching from the side. Xiang Yin humphed and said, "Why are you standing beside me? Hurry up and help little bunny." Sure Sui smiled obediently and said, "Okay, Grandpa." Xiang Yin was speechless. She calls me Grandpa so easily. Sure Sui sat down beside Xiangyi calmly while the Xiang brothers glanced at her without saying anything. Jiang Jujio humphed and refused to look at Sure Sui. The game was still going on. The three highly intelligent players with amazing memory and mental arithmetic skills were up against the heartless Xiang Feng. Without comparison, there would be no harm. Xiang Feng was once again the lowest IQ player in the Xiang family. He was like a money spreader who was losing money every single time Xiangyi discovered that she was particularly lucky. Regardless of whether she was a landlord or a commoner, she could win almost every single round. Soon, there was a large pile of chips in front of her. Her cell phone kept ringing. "You have received a transfer of 56,000 yuan. You have received a transfer of 78,000 yuan. You have received a transfer of 234,000 yuan. It was Xiang Chun and the others who had transferred the money to her, without hesitation. She happily took it to Sure Sui and showed it off. "I'm the god of gamblers." Sure Sui smiled and didn't expose the fact that Sangchen and the others had deliberately lost to her. Xiangyi lowered her head and tapped on her cell phone a few times. A moment later, Sure Sui's phone vibrated. He took it out and saw that Xiangyi had given him half the money she had won. The little girl patted him on the shoulder and said earnestly, "Take good care of your private stash of money. Last time, my uncle secretly hid his private stash of money in my aunt's winter clothes and was discovered. I heard that he even knelt on the washboard." Sure Sui raised her eyebrows, not knowing whether to laugh or cry. Other families didn't collect their private savings, but his little rabbit was different. She even gave him her private savings. Sure Sui readily accepted her advice. "Thank you, Sister E. Sister E is very good." Xiangyi smiled and stood on tiptoe to touch his head. Sure Sui even bent down cooperatively. Jiang Jujio was dumbfounded, and she pulled Xiangyi to the side to whisper to her, while Xiang Yin shouted, "It's time for dinner. Sister, you found yourself a gigolo." "Well, Sure Sui's face is quite fair. You clearly know that's not what I meant." Jiang Jujio was exasperated and knocked Xiangyi's forehead. "He's a man. How can he have the cheek to take your money? What's the difference between this and keeping a mistress in your house?" While they were talking, Fu Jiayin rushed over and happened to run into Nan and Si Chuanbai. They couldn't help but exchange pleasantries. "Wow, sweetheart, your bag is so cute." Nan was full of praise for Xiangyi's bag. Xiangyi said with a little pride, "My third brother made this, and there's a card pack that he designed inside." She took it out and showed it to Nan. Si Chuanbai, who was at the side, noticed the cards in the card pack and said meaningfully, "Sure Sui, you dog hem. Good man, it turns out he gave you all his money." Chapter 873. Xiangyi was puzzled. Si Chuanbai reminded her, "Your card wallet." Xiangyi looked at it but didn't find anything strange. Nan also leaned over and asked adorably, "What's wrong with the card wallet? It looks pretty good." Si Chuanbai was speechless at the two of them. He said helplessly, Don't you guys notice that there are a few extra cards? Annan asked. Really? Xiangyi said. I think so. It couldn't be helped. Xiangyi had the supplementary cards of everyone in the Xiang family, as well as her own bank card, wealth management card, and pocket money card. It was a mess. There were too many cards. Si Chuanbai was speechless. Is this the trouble of being loved by everyone? TSK, Si Chuanbai pointed out a few of the cards and said, this is Shui's most commonly used card. Usually, she would transfer her salary and endorsement fees to it. This is Shui's investment and wealth management card. She should have saved up a lot over the years. And this one, Annan was stunned after hearing that. They haven't even gotten married yet, and Shui has already handed over his salary card? Si Chuanbai said, it's not just his salary card. He has handed over almost all of his belongings to you. I reckon he only has some pocket money on his phone now. Jiang Jujiu, who was beside Xiangyi, was also speechless. She thought that Shui was a gigolo, but she didn't expect. He's quite self-aware. What kind of love is this? Sob, sob, sob. I got it, I got it. The #1 couple fan, Annan, was extremely excited. It's another day of crying for untimely couple. He's even handed over his dowry. This is so sweet, sob, sob, sob. Si Chuanbai said calmly, I'll hand in too. Xiangyi went to look for Shui. Annan looked at her with his hands in his pockets and waited for her to drop some candy. His fingers touched a cold and hard object. He took it out and found that there was a black men's wallet in his pocket. He asked with a look of bewilderment, Mr. C, how did your wallet end up in my pocket? Si Chuanbai said, you picked it up, so it's yours. How can that do? Although I'm not good at studying, I still remember what my kindergarten teacher taught me. Return the money you pick up. Here, take it back. Si Chuanbai's strict and cold face slowly turned red, and even his neck turned red. He gritted his teeth and said, Why did I? You're such a fool. The words missing in the middle were drowned in his mouth. Annan was confused, as if he had fallen into the clouds. He felt that Mr. C was very strange today. Jiang Jujiu suddenly covered her mouth. DBQ sisters, she couldn't be bothered to be angry. Now I just want to be a couple. Aw. Lunch was served one after another. The cook had been with the Xiang family for many years, so the food he made was always the family's favorite. Of course, she also followed Miss Yi's instructions and made a few of Mr. Shi's favorite dishes. Xiangyi asked, Did you put the card in? Shui picked up her favorite dish and said, Okay. Then what will you do if you give it to me? It'll be inconvenient for you to use money in the future. Why don't you take it back? Are you worried about me? Shui poured a cup of buckwheat tea and placed it at the spot where Xiangyi was most convenient for her. I'm afraid that you'll go hungry. Shui's thin lips curled up slightly. I won't starve to death. Whatever other children have, Tutu must have too. Whatever others give to Tutu, I must give it to her too. Then leave it with me first. If you need money, contact me. Xiangyi patted her chest and promised, Don't worry, I won't run away with your money. Shui's gaze stopped somewhere for a moment before he looked away. His Adam's apple bobbed up and down. Chapter 874. During the Xiang family's gathering, apart from the usual eating, there was naturally an activity that the whole family loved to do: drinking alcohol. Li Jinyu and Ruan Qing also had a meal together. The two of them watched as the Xiang family members got drunk and climbed trees, windows, and bookshelves. Even the most reliable Sanction stared at the rockery in the yard for a long time. The two of them looked at each other speechlessly. Fortunately, it's not live-streamed. Otherwise, this family's image would be ruined. With Shui taking care of Xiangyi, she did not drink too much. After the meal, she even cooperated with him to record a video of her unpacking. Li Jinyu personally took action. His style of filming was not the high-end and simple style of blockbusters or variety shows like Old Zhang. Instead, it was warm and beautiful. The background of the video was chosen to be Xiangyi's old room, which was decorated in warm colors. The wooden floor was covered with a fluffy white carpet, on which Xiang Yi sat cross-legged and opened the packages one by one. The first package is... Let me see, it's from Ronghuai. I'll open it then. Xiang Yi's fingers were slender and soft. Even the sight of her opening the package was a beautiful pleasure. Wow, it's so cute. Ronghuai had given her a backpack with a cartoon rabbit. He even wrote a small card saying that he's currently attending an art examination class and that he personally caught this backpack from a claw machine near the class. Wow, I hope everything goes well for his art examination. Xiang Yi tried to carry it and showed it to the camera. This looks good on my back too. Ruan Qing, who was beside her, gave her a thumbs up. Sister, you can do it. After some simple training, she got the hang of it just like that. An internet celebrity is going to open the box. The second package is from Taoist Run. It's a can of tea leaves, a few bottles of spring water, and a ticket to his Taoist temple. It says that the admission fee will be waived forever. Xiang Yi blocked the items with her hand so that the camera could focus on them. Using this spring water to make tea will definitely be special. The third delivery is from Mama Yin. It's a yolk pastry that she made herself. Xiang Yi broke open the egg yolk pastry. The golden skin was wrapped in a layer of Empress of Snow and a layer of red bean paste. In the center was the salted egg yolk. She tasted it and gave the camera a thumbs up. Delicious. Mama Yin is amazing. This egg yolk is the best. It's crispy on the outside and soft on the inside. It's a perfect combination of sweetness and saltiness. There was a fourth, fifth, and sixth delivery. It took Li Jinyu more than 2 hours to finish recording. He personally edited it and was reluctant to delete a single frame. In the end, he reluctantly cut it down to 1.5 hours. After adding subtitles, he updated it at night. The netizens were dumbfounded at first. Whose unboxing video is this long? It's poisonous. But the moment he clicked on the genuine product, F***CK, this was too beautiful. After a few minutes, holy shit, this was too beautiful. The former referred to Xiang Yi's looks in the video. The video didn't have an exaggerated beauty filter, but the tone was adjusted. It looked warm and comfortable, accentuating Xiang Yi's quiet and peaceful temperament. The latter meant that the video was inexplicably interesting. The netizens were delighted. Ha ha ha. Did Sister E drink? She's especially cute today. The way Zai Zai treats each gift like a treasure is so adorable. Director. Release the unedited version. It's only been an hour. How is it enough? Chapter 875. The girl had drunk some wine and was slightly tipsy. The unboxing video was actually quite a test. If it was just a mechanical introduction, one wouldn't have the urge to continue watching it. There were also some exaggerated unboxing videos. Sometimes, the gimmicks were quite attractive, but they didn't seem sincere. However, Xiang Yi's unboxing video was different. The way she introduced each gift was particularly cute. She would even take out her cell phone and seriously write a thank you message. When giving a gift, one would first hope that the other party would like it, and secondly, one would hope to receive feedback. Many netizens said that their gifts were like stones that sank into the sea. They had never seen the other party use some of the gifts at all. They might have thrown them into the trash without anyone knowing. Xiang Yi's attitude of valuing every gift was really good. Now, in addition to Weibo, Two Under One Roof also had an account on forums, small websites, and short video apps. It also had a lot of fans. The number of views on this video increased rapidly on multiple platforms, and it occupied the top trending list. The endorsement effect of celebrities was very strong. Some netizens went to the doll store that Ronghuai had captured, some booked tickets to Taoist Ren's Taoist temple, and some ordered egg yolk pastries. Xiang Yi once again displayed her terrifying ability to promote goods. In a foreign trade company, a meeting was in progress. Our next strategy is to strengthen the connection with overseas resources and make good use of our e-commerce platform and live streaming platform to strive to export our domestic goods overseas, the spokesperson was impassioned. But the conservative board members below disdained him and interrupted him. Let foreigners buy our domestic goods? Will they like it? We might as well import the good, excellent, and high-end foreign products and sell them to our country. The spokesperson said reasonably, foreign trade consists of two aspects: importing foreign goods for sale in our country or selling domestic products abroad. We've been doing the former for many years, and we're indeed doing well, but there's no room for growth in this area. So, I think our growth potential lies in the latter. Now that live streaming is so popular in our country, there's no lack of good, excellent, and high-end products among our domestic goods. Why can't we sell them overseas through live streaming and e-commerce? The board member sneered. What do you think we can sell to foreigners? They have everything they want. Why would they buy our products? The intern behind the spokesperson said weakly, "We don't have snail powder overseas," the director said angrily. "You're just an intern. Since when did you have the right to give orders in a meeting of this level?" That intern was so scared that he trembled and his face turned pale. It wasn't easy for her to get this job. The other executives naturally wouldn't stand up for an intern. Unexpectedly, the CEO suddenly said, "You youngsters, which live streamer do you like to watch nowadays?" The intern was extremely nervous. "My classmate likes to watch Yen Kaikai's live broadcast. His popularity is the highest among the live streamers. However, I like to watch Xiangyi's live stream. Even though she only did it once, the sales were terrifying." Xiangyi? The CEO thought for 2 seconds, and his eyes lit up. "It's that sister, E, right? My parents liked her variety show and bought a lot of products that she endorsed." Chapter 876. The other executives spoke up one after another. "Yes, yes, yes, my kindergarten son likes her too. My wife is clamoring to buy things from Little Rabbit Farm every day. 2 Under One Roof is on the list. My dad watches it every week, and he wants to learn how to cook whatever Xiangyi cooks. I heard that she's really popular among the elderly." The CEO pondered for a while and said, "This young lady is quite popular in the country." The intern was a fan of Xiangyi to begin with. Hearing how everyone was praising Xiangyi, he boldly added, "Xiangyi is also very popular abroad. The overseas version of 2 Under One Roof has been viewed billions of times since it was released." "Oh." The CEO's eyes lit up. "Immediately give me an evaluation of Xiangyi's ability to sell goods. Also, give me detailed information on all aspects. The more comprehensive, the better. Xiaofang, you'll be in charge of this matter." The conservative director still wanted to speak, but was stopped by the CEO. "She's very popular both domestically and abroad. The quality of our local products is good enough. As long as we do a good job of marketing and after sales, there's no need to worry about sales." Everyone nodded, and most of them agreed. The conservative director was unconvinced. "What if we can't sell it to foreigners? If you ask me, I think it's better to let her sell the foreign products to our country. Wouldn't that be safer? How can local products compare to foreign products? Of course, foreign products are better." The CEO glanced at him. He didn't mention any names, but his meaning was obvious. It's the age of the internet now, where opportunities and risks coexist. If you don't have the ability to take risks, I don't think you'd be sitting in your positions today. Local products should be self-reliant, and so should our citizens. There was silence in the conference room, and no one spoke up for that director. "Let's vote now. Those who disagree, please raise your hand." There were very few people who raised their hands. The CEO announced, "Then let's start implementing the plan. All departments will cooperate fully. This time, we must fight a good battle." Online. After the video of the unboxing was released, it was widely praised at first, but gradually, there were some doubts in the comment section of various platforms. Let's be honest, most of the gifts Xiangyi received aren't worth much, right? The bunny bag that Rong Hui gave her cost only 30 yuan. That's too cheap. Any bag my boyfriend buys for me costs more than 10,000 yuan. I'm dying of laughter. Everyone just casually gives Xiangyi something, and she treats it like a treasure. She brags about being rich and beautiful every day, but why do I feel like she hasn't seen the world before? Just as the ridicule was getting louder, someone who claimed to be Xiangyi's classmate posted a thread. Title: Is there anyone who doesn't know that Xiang Wan was ostracized during her school days? Content: I'm in the same junior high school as actress Yang. We're in the same year, but we're in different classes. To be honest, she was the post-it note girl, alright? She was very easy to talk to. If someone wanted to borrow her notes, stationery, or even money, she would lend them to them. Also, our school has a lot of activities. After all, many people who study abroad need to prepare their resumes for various activities and certificates. When there were activities, everyone would often order afternoon tea and give Xiangyi the milk tea and cake flavors that they didn't like. She never took it to heart. During Christmas, she prepared cards and gifts for many people, but she didn't receive a single gift, including her birthday. That's why she's so happy to receive a gift now. Hee hee, she's so pitiful. You're tuning in to the Echo Reads YouTube channel. Don't forget to subscribe and join us on this journey to catch the most captivating stories.